Scared myself. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is the Commission for Independent Education. I'm Mildred Coyne, Chair of the Commission. Today is September 28, 2023. Hard to believe. Ms. Hood, could we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Coyne.
Present.
Commissioner Williams.
Present.
Commissioner Taylor Ellis.
Present.
Commissioner Cross.
Present.
Commissioner Whitaker. Present. Commissioner Stefano.
Present.
And Commissioner Marty.
Present. Thank you. I'd like to remind everyone that if you have not already done so, please silence your phones. Thank you very much. It's now time for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Commissioner Taylor Ellis.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So thank you all for joining us today, and we'd like to now move to introduction of visitors. The Commissioner begins its meeting with the introduction of those in attendance. Mr. Eldridge, would you please proceed with the introduction of our visitors?
Good morning. Luis Barreto, Albizu University, Director of Finance.
Okay, forgot. Sorry.
Good morning. Joe Mulmer, Executive Director, Academy for Nursing and Health Occupations.
Good morning. Lois Richards, President, Academy for Nursing and Health Occupations.
There you go.
Dr. Joe Angley, Co-Middleton Group School Consultants.
Dr. Jose Otero, Otero Consulting Group.
Claudio De La Parra, Director of Student Services and Compliance, Mackenzie University.
Pedro Rodriguez, Mackenzie University.
Dr. Hernan Mandri, Mackenzie University.
Osmi Curiel Mackenzie, President, Mackenzie University.
Dr. Chi-Pyong, Mackenzie University.
Good morning. Taloki Depu, Birchwood University, Vice President for Academics.
Good morning, everyone. Sunil Sinanan, Birchwood University, Orlando, Florida.
Good morning. Beverly Bonaparte, International Nursing Consultants.
Dr. Stacy Aletu, Quest Nursing Education Center.
Good morning, Dr. Dan Strauss. I'm the Dean at National University of Health Sciences.
Good morning, Joe Stiffel, President, National University of Health Sciences.
Ron Menching, the Vice President for Business Services, National University of Health Sciences.
Jennifer Newham, Vice President of Compliance and Accreditation, City College.
Cheryl Schneck, CFO, City College.
Sarah Buckow, Chief Operating Officer, City College.
Good morning, Jerry Rosenberg, President, City College.
Good morning, Dr. Eric Roberts, Campus Director, Uribe University.
Good morning, Maria Belloso, Uribe University.
Dr. Sandra Smith, Director of Academic Affairs, City College.
Dr. Becky Lodewick, Chief Academic Officer, City College.
Good morning, Richard Senzak, Campus Director, City College, Altamont Springs.
Good morning, Brian Quirk, Director of Strategic Initiatives and Governmental Affairs, City College.
Good morning, Timothy Moscato, Regional Vice President of Operations, Florida Career College.
Good morning, Dr. Ignacio Maroto, Westfield Business School.
Deborah Hartman, Assistant Vice President, Columbia College.
Christina Guzman, Modern Sex Therapy Institute's Registrar.
Dr. Rachel Nito, Modern Sex Therapy Institute's owner.
Good morning, Claudia Camacho, Director of License, Compliance and Accreditation, Albizu University.
Good morning, Carmelo Torres, Vice President for Financial Affairs, Universidad Ana Geméndez.
Good morning, Dr. Giselle Tapia, Ana Jiménez University.
Thank you. Good morning, Warren Ross, President of University of Medicine and Health Science.
Good morning, Janie Bailey, Nexus University, Chancellor.
Good morning, Domingo Alvarez with Alvarez Mendoza Labounty, Certified Public Accountants.
Good morning, Dr. Kelly Krinkle, Florida National University, Director of Accreditation and Compliance and FAPS Board Member.
Good morning, Dr. Sam Lin, Vice President of Operations, Concord Career Institute, Florida.
Hi, good morning. My name is Catherine Garrido. I'm the Regional Director for the Global Institute of Sport. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Marie-Jean Gilles, Brilliant Academy Health Center.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Hajar, and I'm the Executive Director at Otero Consulting Group.
Good morning. My name is Carla Horton. I'm the Assistant Director of Otero Consulting Group.
Good morning. I'm from Otero Consulting. I'm Adelina.
Good morning. Wyman Dickey, Fortis College, Campus President in Orange Park.
Kathleen Cole, Fortis Institute, Pensacola, Florida. I'm the Campus President.
Hi, good morning. Steve Budash. I'm the CFO of Education Affiliates, the parent company of Fortis College and Fortis Institutes.
Nikki Good, Regional Vice President for Fortis.
Good morning. I'm Deborah Jones, Director of Education for CESO Institute of Health Professions.
Good morning, Pierre Lavielle, Aviator College.
Good morning, Dr. Emily Gazafikeli, CEO at International Institute for Healthcare Professionals.
Good morning, Fred Gaines, Kepler Space Institute Board of Directors.
Good morning, Dr. Suzanne Morrison-Williams, Chief Academic Officer, Library Information Resources Network.
Good morning, everyone. Andrew Anderson from LEARN, Library and Information Resources Network.
Hi, Dr. Megan Savage, Speech Language Pathology at the University of St. Augustine for Health Sciences.
Good morning, Kim Refner, Manager of Regulatory Affairs and State Licensure for University of St. Augustine for Health Sciences.
Morning, Dr. Brian Goldstein, President and Chief Academic Officer, University of St. Augustine for Health Sciences.
Hi, good morning. Joanna Lane, Director of Compliance, CompuMed Vocational Careers.
Good morning, George Legato, Director of Nursing, CompuMed.
Good morning, Eric Evie, Director of Compliance, Tampa Medical College.
Josiah Steffen, Vice President for Academic Affairs, South Florida Bible College and Theological Seminary.
Good morning, Lisa Sincere, Strayer University.
Good morning, Angela Fleming, Director of Online and Academic Affairs.
Good morning, Sarah Cruz Mendoza, Compliance Manager for Southern Technical College.
Good morning, Kyle Weber, Director of Accreditation and Compliance for ATA College and Southern Technical College.
Good morning, Molly Ludwig, Vice President of Corporate Compliance for Brunel Mills, which owns ATA College and Southern.
My name is Jose Obregon. I'm the Manager of Program of Academics Development for Wayman Aviation Academy.
Good morning, Carlos Gamundi, Director of Education, Wayman Aviation Academy.
Good morning, Maria Alonso, Regional Dean and CEO, Northeastern University in Miami.
Good morning, Michelle Richardson, Director of Global Regulatory Compliance, Northeastern University.
Good morning, Dr. Naomi Ward, Senior Director, Global Network and Strategic Initiatives at Northeastern University.
Good morning, Dr. Brian Lackey, Associate Vice President, Global Network and Strategic Initiatives, Northeastern University.
Greetings and salutations. Arthur A. Treyes from Humboldt International University, the campus in the sky. Buenos días, damas y caballeros. Guten Tag, my friend and my women. I welcome not only the commissioners, but my fellow team here in such a beautiful day in Orlando. From the great state of Miami, I welcome you all.
Good morning, Dr. Angela Goud, Dean of Nursing, West Coast University, Miami campus.
Good morning, Sharon Richardson, Campus Executive Director, University from the great state of Miami.
Good morning, Dr. Mike Burkett, President of Florida Technical College and the Dave School.
Good morning, Tanya Yali from Caps Care Academy for Healthcare Education, Campus Director and Director of Operations for Kenwood and Mercer Health and Wellness Center and Simulation Lab.
Good morning, James McCoy, Campus President, South College, Orlando.
Good morning, Juan Revuelta, Med College President.
Good morning, Felix Gambini, Chief Operating Officer for Sunshine Shores College.
Good morning, David Koo, Director of Compliance at Sunshine Shores College.
Good morning, Fiorella Koo. I'm the President of Sunshine Shores College in Miami.
Good morning, I'm Tricia Carrick, President of Carrick Institute.
Good morning, Don Slater, Campus President, Pulse Radiology Institute, St. Augustine.
Good morning, Gladys Slater, Director of Admissions for Pulse Radiology Institute, St. Augustine.
Good morning, Manuel Villero, President of University of Technology and Education.
Good morning, Chris Giorgetti, Ferguson, Santoro, and Giorgetti Educational Consultants here today with Carrick Institute, Modern Sex Therapy Institute, Pulse Radiology Institute, and University of Technology and Education.
My name is Bob Harris. I'm an attorney with the Messer Cupperly Law Firm in Tallahassee. Today I'm representing University, College, Barbara Brennan Healing Arts, and Gwinnett Institute, and it is Chris's birthday today.
Good morning, Jason Schappert, Schappert College. Not on the agenda today, but hopefully in November. So here to learn as much as I can.
Thank you all for being here. We appreciate your hard work and all that you do for our community. Next, we'll move on to the agenda to approve the minutes. We will consider minutes from the meetings held July 27 and 28, 2023 today. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So move.
Second. Moved by commissioners. Well, I guess I don't have to say that. You guys can see. So we're not on Zoom. Hearing a motion and a second, is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Oh boy, I just really advanced my script here. Next are the reports, if I can get back to where I'm supposed to be. Sorry, this isn't my computer. I'm working through some of my own challenges. Ms. Hurst, will you please provide the Executive Director report?
Yes, well, thank you first for all of you coming today. We greatly appreciate it. We'll start with our Student Protection Fund balance. It has a balance of $68,605.44, and there have been no citations issued. The other item of note is we have held several rule development workshops at this point. We are noticing that Rule 6E-7.001, which is the designation of restrooms and changing facilities in private post-secondary educational institutes, will go before the State Board of Education in October of 2023. The other remaining rules that have been in discussion are 6E-2.004, Standards and Procedures for Licensure, 6E-1.0031, Definitions, and 6E-1.0032, Fair Consumer Practices, as well as 6E-1.004, Fees and Expenses. We are hoping to have them on the State Board of Education meeting in January of 2024.
Thank you. Mr. Junta, would you please provide the legal counsel report?
Yes. Thank you, Chair. I just have a few updates concerning the continuing fallout from Operation Nightingale. These updates concern 3 institutions. The first, with regards to Nursing Bridges Institute here in Orlando. On or about September 15th, 2023, Simon and Anna Eidemann, who are the sole members of Nursing Bridges Institute LLC, which is the owner of Nursing Bridges Institute, the corporate owner, pled guilty to 1 count of criminal conspiracy to commit wire fraud in violation of federal law. Specifically, Mr. and Mrs. Eidemann have admitted to soliciting student co-conspirators to participate in a conspiracy to sell them false and fraudulent diplomas and transcripts issued by Sacred Heart International Institute in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in order that these co-conspirators might obtain LPN licensure and employment in the healthcare field under false pretenses. According to their respective guilty pleas, the Eidemanns have agreed that they are each precluded from operating any nursing training education program or courses anywhere in the country. I would also note that according to our records, the Eidemanns are the only registered owners of Nursing Bridges Institute, and the Commission has not approved any change of ownership. Second, with regard to Palm Beach International College in West Palm Beach, just by way of reminder, that college is owned by Palm Beach International College, LLC, the former owner of which is one Cassandra Jean. She no longer appears, according to filings with the Division of Corporations, to be the owner, but she does continue to file annual reports to the division on behalf of that corporation. Federal criminal proceedings against Ms. Jean related to the unlawful operation or management of a licensed nursing school are still pending. Lastly, with regard to Muriel School of Nursing in Palm Springs, federal criminal proceedings against faculty member Ricky Riley, again relating to the unlawful operation or management of a licensed nursing school, are pending.
Thank you, Mr. Junta. Next on the agenda are issues related to degree-granting institutions. And Section A is on the agenda is for institutions ordered to appear back before the Commission. We will take the 4 original institutions and 1 write-in individually. The first institution is Florida Career College, Miami, number 1792. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, please come on down and introduce yourself.
Good morning. Timothy Moscato, Regional Vice President of Operations, Florida Career College.
Morning. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Is there any discussion about this school, or does the Executive Director, do you have anything to add, to say?
I do not. Can you please give us an update on your progress?
Absolutely. So we continue to work with senior officials at the U.S. Department of Education. I don't have anything significant, no significant updates with that, but as soon as we have something firm, we will let you know. And we have 3 local updates. The first update is we continue to serve our students under the conditions that we agreed to with the U.S. Department of Education, continue to provide labs, materials, supplies, faculty, and career services. So we're making sure that our students are getting all that we committed to providing for them. 2, we have 7 signed teach-out agreements for our students. We've communicated with our students about those teach-out agreements, and they're free to go ahead and contact those institutions if they want. And then lastly, we had a CIE visit at our Miami headquarters on September 7th, and we had 0 findings. That's all I have right now.
Thank you. Any discussion from the commissioners?
I wouldn't ask you to speculate, sir, but how's it going?
It's a challenge. I think one of the biggest things for us is staying focused on the students. That's the best part, and we've had a lot of students really appreciate what we're doing, and the faculty that are still here focused on the students it lifts you up. It can be challenging at times. The campuses are a little smaller than they were, obviously, when I spoke last time. But overall, the student success is what lifts us up.
Well said.
Yeah, very good. If there's no other discussion, is there a motion to accept staff's recommendations?
So moved.
We have a first by Commissioner Cross and a second by Commissioner Williams. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you. Thank you for
Chair. Thank you,
continuing to
Commissioner.
focus on the students.
Thank you. Will do.
Our next school is
I don't need no introduction.
okay. I'll let you introduce yourself, but I'm going to still have to say for the record, I'm not getting there. I'm struggling. Nursing, no. I'm sorry. Is Humboldt International University, Miami, number 5,000. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you're here from the school, please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, young ladies. I forgot to mention, I am the chief cook and bottle washer for the university, so in case you need any assistance, I'm here to help. I'm here as at the request back in 2021 when we presented our initial paperwork. I bring this especially for Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir.
And the chair. You made a point of assigning me to find out placement rates for those that reside outside the United States. Okay, and I informed you that according to your own laws, 6E, that is not needed. So I'm going to reiterate what you have in Standard 10, Student Services, Section B, Placement Services. At the bottom, you make it very clear, and who do not seek employment in this country being the United States. So therefore, I'm going to ask you again, do you really require universities that have students overseas to seek and assist in employment rates certification? Because your own doctrine says they don't have to do it. We as institutes don't have to do it. Now, I took it upon myself, based on your findings. In 2022, we had 17 graduates. In 2023 period, which is, I'll be here in November via Zoom to inform you that we have 37 graduates during that time period. Okay? But based on this last sentence that I just read, are we required to provide placement assistance to those residing outside the United States? Because when I talk to my fellows, gentlemen and ladies out here in the audience, they are not informed that they don't have to require those requirements. Yet you singled me out during that time period. So, do I continue with this? Are you planning on changing the rules so that we all can abide by it? Or is this just a one-shot deal with me? I know my hat may offend somebody, but I want to make sure that we get it on the record. Ma'am?
Oh, no, you certainly haven't offended anyone here that I'm thinking, that I'm aware of. But, it was just a discussion that we were having about practice of how are your students doing. But really, I don't think we weren't mandating anything like that. But we're here today to talk about your financial progress report. How's that going?
Okay, finance. When I approached you 2 years ago, I had $525,000 in the red. I provided you a balance sheet and statements that show there were $155,000 in the red. So we have been improving. I will stand in front of you via Zoom in 2 months from now, where I hope to give you better news than that. Because we just finished our audit in June, and it was part of the paperwork that we just submitted for the November meeting that I shall approach you. So yes, we are seeing improvement. All this coming out of the president's pocket for the university. We just had a visit from DEC for accreditation here in the United States. They did it, 2 days ago? So I won't have no information for the next 6 or 8 weeks, but I hope to be accredited, where then we will proceed with the process of getting Title IV for only U.S. Students.
Chair, I'd like to. Yeah, so to address your first comment, I would defer to counsel on what is and is not required, but I do have a question. Pardon me. I mean, do you think it's important to track the placement rate and success of all of your students?
Here in the United States, it's a requirement, not only by you.
That's
but
not what I
also
was
by the-
asking you, sir. I'm going to defer to counsel on the requirements. I'm asking you if you think it's important to track the success and placement rates of all your students.
It does come to play, but you're making it a requirement.
I don't have that authority. I would defer to counsel on that. I'm just asking you a question if you think it's important to track the placement rates and success of all of your students.
It's important to know that our students are employed, and most of them that are in a program that require a U.S.-type degree would have to be or should be considered as employable.
So you understand the pertinence of the question
Oh, no.
regardless of the legal
If anybody,
requirement?
I understand the importance of it, but following your own rules that says that it's not needed. So, you know, do you have a double standard here? I know you
No,
didn't
sir.
bring
No
me out-
no one's requiring anything of you that isn't written in the rule. And when we ask that question, we're not changing the rules. We don't have that authority to do so. I'm just trying to illustrate whether or not you think it's important to track the success and placement of all of your students, regardless of whether they are seeking employment in the United States or not. And it's a simple yes or no question.
Well, nothing is a simple yes or no question when I come up in front of such a distinguished guest like you are. But I do understand the importance of it, and I feel that it is something that you as a board should consider either to make it a rule or not make it a rule.
Would you
Or keep
support
it as
that being
ambiguous
a rule?
as it is.
Would you support that being a rule?
If you make it a rule, I have no reason but not to support. I would have to support it. It's part of part of our DNA to support what CIE does project as overall. But understand, we're here in the United States taking care of U.S. Students. When we open the doors to international students, we find ourselves obligated, non-obligated, or do they fall under their own Department of Education rules and regulations?
Certainly. As you can imagine, someone who sits at this table is playing a part in the matriculation, education, and ultimately employment of all of your students, no matter where they live. So I think it's a prudent question, required or not, just to understand whether you track it. If you don't track it, great. It's not required. I'm just trying to illustrate to you that we can ask a question that isn't required just to understand the breadth of how you hold yourself accountable.
And I thank you for that.
Fair enough.
Any other discussion, commissioners?
It'd be good to say on the record that we have no quibbles with your hat.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to accept staff's recommendations for Humboldt University? International University?
So move.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Staff's recommendation is adopted.
Thank you very much. And I will tell you one thing. You're going to have the privilege of seeing me later on representing my other institution in the great state of Miami. Thank you again.
Thank you. The next institution is Nursing Bridges Institute, Pensacola, number 6138. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from that institution, please come to the podium and introduce yourself.
The institution has waived appearance.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this item? Please.
The report has been updated with additional contingencies, if you would like for me to read them out loud.
I'm happy to have you do that. Thank you.
So the report reads that we find the following: that on or about September 15th, 2023, Simon and Anna Edelman, sole members of Nursing Bridges Institute, LLC, the owner of Nursing Bridges, pled guilty to criminal conspiracy to commit wire fraud in violation of Title 18 United States Code Section 1349. Specifically, that Simon and Anna Edelman had admitted to soliciting student co-conspirators to participate in a conspiracy to sell them false and fraudulent diplomas and transcripts issued by Sacred Heart International Institute in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in order that these co-conspirators might obtain LPN licensure and employment in the healthcare field under false pretenses. 3, that Section 1005.383 Florida statutes provides that any person who has been convicted of or entered a plea of guilty to a crime that relates to the unlawful operation or management of an independent post-secondary educational institution is ineligible to own or operate a licensed institution in this state. 4, that according to their respective guilty pleas, Simon and Anna Edelman have agreed that they are each precluded from operating any nursing training education program or courses. And 5, that Simon and Anna Edelman are the only registered owners of Nursing Bridges Institute in Pensacola, Florida, and that the Commission has not approved any change of ownership. We therefore order the institution to cease enrollment in the nursing ASN program through March 30th of 2024. A progress report be filed with the Commission for the January 2024 and March 2024 Commission meetings. Each report shall include an updated roster of enrolled students, which includes each student's name, contact information, which is phone, email, and email address, program of study, an anticipated graduation date, and an updated roster of all graduates after February 15th, 2023, which include each graduate's name, contact information, phone, email, and address, program of study, NCLEX test status, professional license number, and place of employment.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this item? Further information? No, hearing none, I'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations.
So move.
Second. We have a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Staff's recommendation is approved, is adopted. The next school is Palm Beach International College, Lake Worth, number 7659. We have staff's recommendations before us. If you are here from the school, please come forward and introduce yourself.
This institution has also waived their appearance before this commission.
Thank you. Is there any further contingencies?
The report and contingencies have been updated. Would you like for me to read them?
Yes, please.
So it is to accept the following, or accept the report and find the following. 1, Palm Beach International College is owned by Palm Beach International College, LLC, on whose behalf Cassandra Jean continues to file annual reports to the Florida Division of Corporations. 2, federal criminal proceedings against Cassandra Jean related to the unlawful operation or management of a licensed nursing school remain pending. Order the institution to cease enrollment in the nursing ASN program through March 30th of 2024. A progress report shall be filed with the Commission for the January 2024 and March 2024 Commission meetings. The report shall include an updated roster of enrolled students, which includes each student's name, contact information, phone, email address, program of study, and anticipated graduation date, and an updated roster of all graduates after February 15th, 2023, which includes each graduate's name, contact information, phone, email address, program of study, NCLEX test status, professional license number, and place of employment.
Thank you very much. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations.
So moved.
Second. We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes to accept staff's recommendations. The next institution is Mariel School of Nursing, Palm Springs, number 7741. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, please come to the podium and introduce yourself.
This institution has also waived appearance, and just to clarify for the record, this and the previous two waived appearance via their counsel.
Thank you. Executive Director, do you have additional contingencies?
I will update the report. So the motion is to accept, or the suggestion is to accept the report, find that the federal criminal proceedings against Mariel School of Nursing faculty member Ricky Riley related to the unlawful operation or management of a licensed nursing school remain pending. Order the institution to cease enrollment in the practical nursing diploma program through March 30th of 2024. A progress report shall be filed with the Commission for the January 2024 and March 2024 Commission meetings. The report shall include an updated roster of enrolled students, which includes each student's name, contact information, phone, email address, program of study, and anticipated graduation date, and an updated roster of all graduates after February 15th, 2023, which includes each graduate's name, contact information, phone, email address, program of study, NCLEX test status, professional license number, and place of employment.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion from the commissioners? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations.
So moved.
Second. Hearing a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The motion passes to accept staff's recommendation. The next whoops, I'm sorry. Moving on to the new agenda topic. Section B on the agenda is applications for provisional license. We will take these institutions individually. There is one write-in addition to this section, item number 3. These materials can be found in the addendum to the agenda. The first institution is Mackenzie University, Hallandale Beach, number 12514. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, please come forward and introduce yourself. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning for everyone. My name is Osmi Curiel Mackenzie, President of Mackenzie University.
Excellent.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Dr. Chi Pyong, and I'm the Director of Accreditation and Compliance for Mackenzie University.
Very good. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your institution?
It's based in Hallandale Beach Boulevard. Hallandale Beach, I'm sorry. It's located at West Hallandale Beach Boulevard in close to Miami, Florida. It's an institution that has been working to its licensure for about a year now. I believe that the institution has done tremendous work in trying to get its licensure. It has also recruited competent and staff members who can run the universities efficiently. So for now, we have responded to all the staff recommendations, and we hope to obtain the provisional license to continue our work on the establishment of the university. Thank you.
Thank you. So can you tell me a little bit about, I see your programming is business administration, computer information technology, education, political science. Can you tell me a little bit about your employer relationships that you're creating to make sure that your students have relatable educational experiences to the marketplace?
Sure. We're interested to make sure that students who are going to obtain their degrees are ready for the marketplace. We're also interested to make sure that there are employers who are listening to our needs, as well as the market for the future for employment. So with that, we are trying to establish connections with employers out there to find out what is the trend for employment, and also to make sure that students are ready for the marketplace. So we're actively looking for partners with those areas, those specific areas, IT, business, and so forth.
Have you had any, I'm very familiar with the area of Hallandale and Broward County, so have you created any business partnerships, formed an advisory committee to inform the curriculum?
We have, with our ownership, we have some partnerships with the medical profession already, but with regards to the other two areas, we're still looking for advisory members as well as partners who can help us with that. So we're still working on that.
Sure, sure. Sir?
Sorry, just an update on that. We do have an advisory council set up, and we are making partnerships within the community. We have an affiliation that we're working on with Larkin Hospital and also with Kendall Regional, and also some businesses within the Miami area for the business program.
Do you anticipate having any work-based experiences for your students? I know it's 100% online, but I'm just trying to get, like, how are you going to really connect students in, business administration, because it is such a broad field, to jobs? And so are there going to be work experiences for the students while they're learning?
Correct. They will have since we have partnerships that we're building with these employers, we'll have actual hours that they can do with the businesses, either as a volunteer hours or hours within, if it's for the health field, they can do their clinical hours. We're working on those partnerships in the moment.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Sure.
You also have the education, and obviously you said masters in education.
Correct.
What type of masters in education, and where are you? What context do you have to place these individuals? And what type of masters in education? And I believe you also have an educational doctorate. So
Correct.
what are the fields and where are they going?
We'll be partnering up with actual educational facilities as well for placement within the Career Services Department to find them placement. Obviously, we can't guarantee employment, but we can help them with that.
What type of masters?
In business.
In education, yeah, but they're...
Yeah, and also education as well.
What type of masters in education? Is it like special education, elementary education?
They can. It's more broad at the moment. We are working on specialties at the moment, but it's more of a broad spectrum at this moment.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, sir, can you state your name?
My name is Claudio Della Parra.
Thank you, we missed that. So I guess I'm trying to get a feel for like, what's your market differentiator in the community and where do you anticipate drawing students from?
We're going to try to bridge, obviously, that disconnect within the community and help them with employment. Our basis is to give a quality education to the community and give our best to our students.
And who are your students? Who do you anticipate your students being?
Well, we are going to have online, obviously, and we will work towards the future to have on-ground classes as well within the facility, but we're working, obviously, to expand within that motion. So we're looking for the approval for the online to get started.
And how are you going to market? Like, what is your marketing strategy?
It's going to be Florida. Obviously, we'll have our admissions team work with students and also market to those students within the different fields that we're seeking approval for.
Have you already contacted an accrediting agency? How are you planning to accredit this program?
Yes, we have submitted our application for accreditation. We're working on that application at the moment.
To what? To which agency?
To APA.
Chair, I have a...
Yes, please.
In your business plan, it says that you're targeting traditional, non-traditional, in describing your target market, and that's not extremely targeted when you're opening it up to all those populations. And given how competitive the marketplace is with those type of programs, you reference a comprehensive marketing strategy, but yet there's a very little amount of money budgeted in your budgeting sheet here for marketing. So do you have access? Like, what population are you going to bring in? Students that are not going to be using marketing dollars? How are you planning on getting the 595 students in the first year?
Well, we'll market to high schools. Obviously, you have job fairs and college career fairs, social media as well, and the events as well within the community to try to help those students with that connection for, obviously, employment. That's the purpose of education.
Do you have experience doing that?
I do, sir. I've been in education for 10 years.
Okay, so you have experience where you're going to be able to recruit 595 students from high schools.
Yes, sir. Well, we will be.
That's only for bachelors, right? Because you're not recruiting them into. I'm sorry to interrupt. To
Go ahead,
masters and doctoral programs from high school.
Correct.
What about Jeff?
For the programs within, since we have the community connections that we're creating with the hospitals, with Larkin University and also Kendall Regional, we'll find medical professionals that also obviously want to continue their education. So we'll provide them with an incentive to go with our program to better themselves, if you will.
And what would that incentive look like?
Obviously betterment in your degree. If you want to advance, if you're within a bachelor's and you want to go up to a master's, or for improvement in your employment, or for that raise if you want a doctorate's program.
Okay.
Sir, may I ask?
Yes, sir.
There's always a tough period where you're 30 or 40% along the way to where you plan to be, where you're incurring the cost associated with your goal, but you're not necessarily realizing the revenue with the goal itself. So I think your number may be optimistic, and I think that's why Commissioner Costa was saying this. So what's the what's the plan financially for the costs associated with partial success, if you will, and covering those, given the amount of money you have in the bank? Because you obviously would have to serve the 200 of those 600, and that is going to cost likely more than the cash that you have on hand and prior to getting to your goal, which I'm not doubting your ability to get to your goal. I just want to understand what's your fail-safe?
Well, I mean, we are committed to our community, and we're hoping through admissions that we'll have future enrollments, which will help us financially to start building from there. So we are going to do our very best.
Do you know? And I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm just getting you to think about these things as you embark on this. Do you know where that break-even part is, the enrollment number, where you say, here is where we can cover the costs associated with serving these students, and then after that we would enjoy the proceeds of that so that we could grow? Do you know what that enrollment number is?
He's doing the finance.
With any business plan, it is just a rough estimate as to when the institution starts.
But your costs aren't.
Correct.
Those are not a rough estimate. You know what it's going to cost you.
Correct.
So I'm wondering if you know where that break-even point on your costs is, to say it's X number of students, to be able to make sure we're not going in the red every month.
Well, I believe the owners are able to continue to inject capital into the institution.
That's what I was asking for. Yeah, great.
Yeah, it is a little bit difficult right now to even think about a break-even for the first year of operation because of unknowns in the market. But to answer your question, we're able to find capital to continue with this process.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to put you guys on the spot. I would just encourage you to go back and, to the extent that it's possible with the information that's currently available, figure out what that number is.
Correct. Thank you.
Thanks.
So do you have, I'm still really interested in the marketing aspect, how you're going to get to Commissioner Williams' point, that's going to be, I think it's going to be really important for you to get to those numbers in a way that's going to help you stay financially solvent. Do you have any related activities outside of the U.S.?
No, we're within the United States, only in Florida.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Commissioner.
In this field of education, in order somebody has a master's degree, you have to communicate with the state of Florida because that's part of a certificate that will provide a difference in the certificate of the person. And those are very distinctive, like you could get into guidance and counseling, or it could be administration of, etc. And when I hear you talking about marketing, I hear you talking about the business part of it. Obviously, you're not going to go to high schools to try to get people to go into a master's in education. So what's your marketing plan, and what are you going to offer these people? Have you contacted the state of Florida to make sure that your courses lead to the appropriate certification?
So for now, the assumption is that we don't really know what the students' goals are, whether they're going to be school teachers, whether they're going to be administrators. And so at the moment, the master's degree is a very broad, general master's degree.
What do we do? What do they do with it?
Well, they can enter the field of education or private educational institutions as administrators, but not necessarily certifications at this point. Maybe later on, if there is a request or demand for us to look at licensures, then at that time maybe we'll address that, because at this moment there's no plan to create programs that leads them to licensure at the moment. It's just a very general, broad Masters of Education.
And how are you going to market that?
It's just like any other degree programs that we market through curriculum, and there's not really a specific area of target at the moment. It's a very broad degree program for the moment.
Thank you.
And I just think that's really challenging. I think that's what Commissioner Marty is describing. And not only that, but you're also offering 3 different levels, which I don't think we have rules preventing that, but That's really complicated, very complicated. And, you know, to Vice Chair's comments earlier, just really do your diligence, because if you get 595 students, unless you have a magic path from some sort of source, it's going to cost you well over $1 million, well over that. And you have about $40,000 budgeted. So it doesn't mean it's impossible. Maybe you have a source that you're going to bring students in from that aren't going to cost, but I would just say be mindful, because I don't know that you have your plan set up accurately enough to be set up for success.
Sure.
Based on your 595.
Now, I'd like to also compare that, you know, maybe to, let's say, a Master's of Business. A Master's of Business is a very general degree program. It's not marketed towards a specific area of business. So that's almost the same kind of concept with the Masters of Education.
Except that, yes, business can be more general. Education does require licensing to work in in education, any level of education, often for really gainful employment. So we also want to I want to make sure that you're fully aware of your expectations for placement, right? So everything being very general and broad, not only is that a marketing challenge, I want to make sure that we're protecting the students that are taking your programs, that they will in fact have the requisite skills to get jobs. Because if it's so general, education is very concerning being so general without any plan for licensure to get gainful employment. That, you know, that's why I started really with the questioning around your employer relationships. If you have advisory relationships, and I heard one distinct employer, a hospital, right? Linton, what was the hospital?
Larkin.
Larkin, forgive me.
Yeah.
So that, you know, that's one. I want to make sure that we're setting your students and you all up for success, because placement is a requirement for your outcomes. And I guess back to the 595, with the programming that we're seeing and the varying levels, how does that break out? Like, where do you expect the majority of those students to go?
Yeah.
Start.
I want to backtrack just to say that there are plans to offer concentrations in the education degree program. Hopefully, and we are mindful that students who go through educational programs will get placed and will get gainful employment. We're very mindful of that. And so we're going to continue to work on that aspect to build relationship with employers, and also, you know, at some point, dedicate some of these to its licensure for these graduates.
And what are those concentrations?
The concentrations are in virtual learning, learning design and technology, research evaluation and formulation of educational projects, and educational management.
And you know that's going to drive your cost up by offering those concentrations.
Yes, sir.
Even further. So it's a very complex, you know, I wish you all the, you know, best, but it's a very complex, and I don't know that your plan is describing enough to ensure your success, because it's very complicated to offer those type of programs in an extremely competitive market where your costs are going to be really high, and if you offer that many concentrations, it's going to be higher. So you got to be watchful for that.
Chair, if I may, this is just friendly advice to consider.
Yes, sir.
Take it for what it's worth. A good mentor of mine told me once that niches make riches, right? So it's difficult to serve the masses in full breadth. It's very, very expensive, right, to do that. So two suggestions. The first being, consider a phased-in approach. There's nothing wrong with having provisional licensure for multiple levels of education, but only implementing them through a process of saying we're going to begin at this level, and then begin at this level, and then add this level. So you can layer those on, because the second thing is, by layering them, you're able to utilize your existing infrastructure, and you get some efficiencies out of where you began. And where you begin, as just friendly advice, should be where your heaviest margins are. Don't start with the most expensive program to administrate. Just because you think that the revenue is highest. So look at your margins there. That's what's going to allow you to build on that. And that's just one business owner to another. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying sometimes it's better to layer programs on from an expense standpoint.
I will agree with that, as the university grows, there will be directions for students to maybe form more of a cohort and then move them along, and then at some point they can branch out into other areas if they like.
Yeah, so I mean the easiest way to say it is figure out which of those offerings you think you're going to be really, really good at executing that has the appropriate margin for growth, and start there.
I agree with that.
And we wish you the best. I agree with Commissioner Cross. I hope that goes well. Just temper your optimism.
Thank you. Always good to be optimistic.
We definitely want to see you be successful, and so, and we'll be watching, right? So we'll keep seeing you, and we want to make sure that you have your eyes wide open, and so.
We're aware that we're under watchful eyes, so we will work on that.
That's the nature of our business, and we have to, because as you can tell, the sector lifts itself up. If there's good quality programming, looks good for the whole entire sector.
Yes.
Anyone else have any other comments, discussion? No, I just kind of want to suggest also that you stick to the bachelor's first.
Yeah.
Because like your master's at this point, it's very hard for people to jump into a master's that other people haven't been before and that you don't have. So maybe concentrated on your bachelor program.
Yes, thank you
for
that.
Because that your admission, like going to high schools, etc., is only for that bachelor, and maybe community college graduates and get in the last 2 years and stick to that for a while.
Sure.
Your master's level success might be 10 times greater by doing that and grabbing those students who want to progress in their education. And it makes it a lot easier, a lot less expensive.
A lot less expensive, because those programs are going to continue to get smaller and smaller, and your costs are going to be greater. So,
sure.
One other question for clarification: are these programs in English and Spanish? Two separate programs?
Yes, correct. Both in
So it's
English
even
and Spanish, but
expanding.
not right away.
Okay.
So what does that mean? Which one?
What that means is that as student population grows, there may be demand for more Spanish related degree program, meaning that, first we'll concentrate on English and then move on to Spanish as the population grows.
So 8 programs really become 16.
I don't think the intent is to offer all 8 right at once.
Okay, thank you.
And I also want to suggest that it is my understanding that the accreditation that you mentioned is basically for health services. And if you're going into, you may want to consider a more broad type of accreditation that work for all the programs, or else you're going to be doing a lot of different accreditations.
There's been discussion to seek institutional accreditation of DEAC for now. But the discussion is still initial.
Okay, thank you.
I guess I get a little confused on the health sciences, because there's no programming that's related to health sciences, right?
I know.
It's business, computer science, and
Correct.
education, and political science.
For now, just institutional accreditation, not programmatic accreditation.
Commissioners, any other discussion?
I think there are a lot of points here. So to help you walk away with the benefit of everything that's been said, let me sum it up in 5 points. Okay. The first point of conversation, concern, the connection between the curriculum and job placement. Making sure that it's not just an afterthought where you're recommending them to different jobs, but somehow including experiential learning in the process so that you're better aligning your students with job placements and increasing those rates eventually. Number 3, the advisory relations and curricular design. It's important to have those relationships with employers, not only to get the placement rates, but also to have that inform the way that you're training students so that they are a good market fit for employer expectations. So having that kind of relationship there. Number 3, starting a lot of programs all at once, high costs, so consider it a staggered approach and being able to leverage existing infrastructure for efficiencies and perhaps graduating students for entrance to subsequent programs, so you can leverage your own resources. Number 4, the responses regarding marketing were all, they needed more thoughtful consideration, right? So you really need to think that through and consider the budget for that. And number 5, ensure that your strategy for accreditation aligns with the scope of your vision.
Yeah, we do have a lot of learning, and the learning curve is quite large at the moment, but thank you for those suggestions and recommendations.
Thank you.
I mean, what Commissioner Stefano just did was really give you a roadmap of all the questions that we had. Thank you very much. That was very, very helpful. And I think it would be really advantageous for y'all to go back, because I'm really concerned for you all in that regard. Like those 5 areas are really something that you should consider to make, because we want you to be successful. We want you to be successful for the students.
Thank you very much.
Any other
Appreciate
discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations to grant the provisional license.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Oh, that's an At this time, we'd like to ask if there is any public comment on this matter.
I'm sorry, on what matter?
On the last school. So that's a new part of the, do you want to explain that, Commissioner?
Yes. So in this meeting, what we will have is when each institution is coming up in front of the commission themselves, we will also ask for each individual institution as they come up if there's any public comment in the matter, if anyone else would like to comment. And we'll do that prior to the vote on the staff recommendation.
That's not in my script.
I have, I've been asked just to clarify and to explain that that is something that we are doing to be in better compliance with the Sunshine Law.
Okay. Our next institution is Sunshine Shores.
I've been waiting all morning for you to say that. So.
I can say she sells seashells, but Sunshine Shores College in Doral, number 12535. Welcome. We have staff recommendations before us. If you are here from the institution, please introduce yourself.
Perfect. Thank you very much. My name is Felix Gambini. I hold a master's degree in business administration, a master's degree in accounting, and a master's degree in taxation, and I have 20 plus years of experience with small businesses and Fortune 500 companies. I am the Chief Operating Officer of Sunshine Shores College.
My name is David Koo. I am a molecular biologist. I have the doctor's degree in pediatrics, internal medicine, and pediatric emergency medicine. I will be serving as a Chief Compliance Officer for Sunshine Shores.
Hello, my name is Fiorella Koo. I am a doctor I have a master's and a doctorate in education, administration, and policy, and I'm the president of Sunshine Shores College.
Welcome, thank you.
It's an honor to be here, ready to answer any questions.
Super. So why don't you just go ahead and start with sharing with us what your ambitions are for your school.
Well, Sunshine Shores College is a college that's located in Doral. It is an online school at this time, and we have one single program, a master's in business administration and entrepreneurship. And well, the ambition at this time are very conservative. We are going to stick to this one single program for the next few years, And once we prove ourselves, we may consider an expansion. And we are, at this time, there are no plans to do a hybrid class, go into a hybrid model, 100% online at this time, but a hybrid model has been discussed for the future.
So that's interesting. Tell me a little bit about your employer relationships or business affiliates that are working with you to help to inform the curriculum and then to engage with your students.
Most certainly. Right now at the school, we have six faculty and 2 staff members, and out of the everyone at the school has a full-time job and works either for a small company, they are business owners, or large corporations. So our first point of contact are those corporations, those people that we work for. In the case, for instance, for Dr. Koo, Fiorella Koo, or Dr. David Koo, they own a considered large business. It's a DNA lab that's in New York, California, and also here in Florida. And actually, the need or the reason why the college was created was because of them. They saw a need in the marketplace, and so and because of their passion for education, they decided to go ahead and create the school. So on one side, we're going to be in contact with the businesses that we currently have relationships with, and on the other hand, we're going to do in-person and face-to-face contact with the business community.
So is your intention then, so how many students, help me, I can dig it up, but how many students are you expecting to start with?
On the business plan, there is an aggressive forecast of 85 students, and on the conservative side, that is not on, which is not on the business side, is less than that number. And I think, based on marketing strategies and the conversation that we have, it's achievable.
So you're looking for students that want to be entrepreneurs. Is that true?
That our target market are people that are currently working, that are between the ages of 30 years old and 50 years old, and they are either trying to move up at their current positions, at their jobs, or they are trying to look, branching out and opening their own businesses.
Do you expect to offer students the opportunity to actually build their own business plans, pitch decks, so that they can take their own ideas into an actual business plan to launch?
Yes, we are. In fact, the MBA, the Master's in Business Administration and Entrepreneurship that we are currently offering has 12 courses. Within those 12 courses, we have an area which is self-management. There's an area of logistics. There's an area of a legal area, etc. They all work together, and within one of those courses, we're certainly going to be offering the option for them to do a business plan.
I have a sneaking suspicion that you guys are very entrepreneurial, and it's probably your plan to identify diamonds in the rough with their business ideas and make investments in those students and some potentially be JVs with them postgraduate. I see your partner back here laughing and shaking his head. So, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm an entrepreneur, so I have a feeling that's what you guys are kind of farming, and I don't mean that in a negative way, students through to identify real diamonds in the rough, right? People who have good ideas and good work ethic that you might be able to invest in after their graduation.
I mean, that would certainly be an avenue of actually going ahead and, doing more of an outreach that's actually coming to you. But yes, that would certainly be a great opportunity to kind of look at in that respect. But for the most part, we'd like to see people succeed in their businesses and so on. And we've, certainly been down that road ourselves. Just kind of sharing some of that, kind of builds camaraderie. I think there's always going to be business opportunities that you could actually go ahead and turn with, having like-minded people, in your midst.
Yeah, there's about 5,000 colleges and universities in the United States. 237 of them offer entrepreneurship as a degree. That's 4%. So the message is resoundingly clear that if you go to college, they were grooming you to be an employee, right? Not to be an entrepreneur. So because of that, I would suggest you guys go back and talk about whether the bachelor degreed students are going to bring you the volume that you're looking for. Because if you have a master's degree in the United States, you're 20% less likely to be self-employed than if you have a GED. So there may be a massive portion of the population who don't have the bachelor's to get into this master's program who would be very viable, hardworking candidates for you. That's just pennies worth of free advice.
Thank you.
Just building on what you're saying, I do think that if you are to take that approach, it doesn't have to be something that is ad hoc and just kind of contingent. I mean, it potentially could be formalized into a educational program that is distinguished by simultaneously being an incubator or an accelerator program.
Yeah.
And that would be something actually very distinct and attractive.
Yeah, I think it would as well. And I think you'd get, investors in the community interested in what you're doing as well. What a great way to make a connection between, hardworking, aspirational entrepreneurs and the people who've already been down that path.
And then building in the mentor component for
Yeah.
the entrepreneur. So that's kind of where I was leading to, was around the accelerator, building in those competencies of what it takes to really take a business to market. And not, I said a business plan, and I think that's pretty stagnant, honestly.
Yep.
It's all of the other competencies that a person has to have to get to be a creator of jobs, not just a consumer of a job.
Well said.
Yeah. And I also appreciate that you do have a target market that was very specific, right? The 30 to 50. I forget your exact age, but that's that was, I think, important. Any other commissioners have comments?
I do, and I want to compliment you first on just appreciate all the financials you put together that make sense. It's a true investment to go into marketing, starting off a new program, and what you did there looks like an experienced budget. So nice job on that. The one concern I had is I know you went on to describe it here, so I have less concerns, but in your business plan, your target market is anyone with a bachelor's degree who's interested in post-secondary education. And as you heard today, I would really narrow that down and really consider what Mr. Williams said earlier. I know we don't have a bachelor's degree in front of us here today, but there's so many entrepreneurs that probably do not have that first step. And once again, you help them re-enroll into this type of a program. But I would say just get real tight on that target market that you're looking for, because it's cost of marketing is really high, as you know, and so you don't want to just shoot it out there to anybody. So thank you.
No, thank you, sir.
And I mean, most entrepreneurs I know aren't looking for a degree, right? They're looking for, how do I get my idea to market? And so the degree is
It's ironic, right? Because you're empowering them to do a job that doesn't require a degree.
Right. It is. I loved your stats on that.
I'll plant a little seed. Just consider a little seed. Stackable credits that can form certificates, but which can be combined to form degrees at different milestones. That's the sweet spot, because then you can actually target these different markets and align those in complementary ways.
Yes, sir. We'll do.
Very good.
I don't know, I'm curious because I'm kind of looking at your calendar, and you were expecting to start this fall, but you obviously have not started.
No, we have not actually, and we need to update the catalog in regards to the calendar. We've been working on the documentation that you have before you for quite a while. So, and that is, I think, the reason why you are seeing that we are supposedly to start in the fall, but that's not going to be the case. It's going
But
to
it
be.
says first day of classes was September 25th, which is this weekend.
No. No, it's when, and depending
Do
on.
you have prospective students already? Because if let's say you approve today, it's going to take a while to create the first class unless, I don't know.
Well, on the optimistic side, we have already been preparing classes as far as the syllabi, the books that that are going to be used for each one of the 12 courses that are within the MBA, because we did all that in order to put together the program that you have before you. Now, in regards to prospective students, I can tell you that right now we have 2 people that were interested when we spoke about the school, but we haven't, we haven't marketed or we haven't done anything in regards to try to recruit students at this time.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion, commissioners? Hearing none, is there any public comment on this matter? That's where I'm supposed to ask it. If there's no other comments, is there a motion to accept the staff's recommendations to grant the provisional license?
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes and is adopted for granting provisional license.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you so very much.
Good luck. We'll be looking forward to hearing good news.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next institution is University of Technology and Education, Pembroke Pines, 12837. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the school, come on in. Welcome. Thank you.
Hello, community. Manuel Villero, President of University of Technology and Education.
I'm Gladys Slater, just translating for Mr. Giorgetti here.
Chris Giorgetti, Ferguson, Santoro, and Giorgetti. Before we start, I would like to say Manuel is very leery of his English. It's better than he even wants to admit. When he speaks to me, I'm fine with it, but he's very worried about his English. So I'm going to work with him to answer some of the questions, and that's why Gladys is going to translate. I just wanted to say that for the record.
Thank you. So, commissioners, any discussion? Want to tell us about your school?
Do you want to go ahead?
Okay, I'm going to explain a little. No? I don't speak English very well, but I am from Colombia. No? Okay, the University of Technology and Education was my dream about 3 years ago. I am an electronic engineer. I have a specialist in management projects. I have an MBA in marketing, and I am a doctor of education with emphasis in research, evaluation, and formulas of projects of education. No? The principal focus of the marketing is in Florida, no? To offer to the person, to the teacher, to the teacher that is working in the university, that is working in the high school, for to have a master in education and to can have a doctor in education. But the difference of the other university is the cost. You can see the catalog. There is a low cost because here in United States, I am reading that the master and the doctor for the person, for the teacher I work in the high school, for the teacher I work in the university, that has to pay a lot of cost for to have a doctor, for to have a master. No, this is my principal focus, and I have opened another door is international. For example, I am thinking to go to offer in Colombia, to offer in Ecuador, to offer in Chile, because they think that the education in the United States is an excellent education, no? And to the recognition of the degree in the other country, for example, in Chile, in Ecuador, if you have a quality education, you don't have a problem to the recognition of the degree. This is all. You don't know what you want a lot of things.
Well, I appreciate your passion and your interest in making sure that it's available for our community. So tell me again, who's your target market? Who are you targeting to market to for this initial launch?
Okay. I am looking for example, the teacher of the high school, they need to have a master in education, no?
Florida?
Yes, in
Okay,
Florida. Yes, in Florida. For example, in this moment, I am waiting for about 100 teachers that he want to begin to study with me, no? They say, hey, Manuel, when are you going to begin your university? You, wait a minute, I don't have the license, I'm waiting for the commission. But in this moment, I have a potential of a student that he's going to begin to study. Because they told me that they need to have the master to continue to quality education in this school.
I do want to say.
You're talking about
this is a
high school
master's-
teachers?
This is a master's in science, not a master's. It's not for teachers.
I understand, but in order, again, we're talking about credentials. Teachers could get credentials to teach business in high school with a bachelor's from an accredited institution and passing certain exams. The masters serve to a second level of certification, but it also, most of the districts will give more money in the salary, but it's not a condition of employment. And in order for them to get that extra funding for the masters, you probably have to be accredited before they could get that. But it's not that they need that to continue employment. They could work for 30 years with a bachelor's as long as the certificate remains valid with the state of Florida. There's just a clarification.
Yeah, the key here is that this is more for research and practice, right? It's geared at that target with a master's of science, not an MA in education.
But it's an MS in education.
Yes, it is an MS.
Yeah, in education.
Yeah, you still need a certification.
Yeah. Especially depending on what the students' ambitions are. If they want to go into administration, if they want to go into guidance, if they're in the high school, they want to move up, they have to have those very specific accredited programs to provide them with a license to do those things.
The key with the programs that we work with Manuel on, there is a Spanish and there's an English, right? And we realize that a lot of his students are probably going to come from South America, just a reality of the fact. However, Manuel's worked very diligently to obtain his citizenship. He's working towards it. He's got his visa, and him and his wife and the children are going to relocate to Pembroke Pines. It's going to run from Florida. It will obviously put students in school from South America, but in South America, back to that target market question, those students down there want this master's of science. That's what
to
they
work
want.
in Florida or to work in South
Colombia,
America?
in South
okay,
America.
Okay,
So
so I thought I heard that too.
Yes.
And so then it kind of, that we have to also be thinking through the placement piece. Like there's, what does it look like for your student population placed? And it might be that this is something that the commission is going to have to really be thinking about with so many schools coming through the commission that have international ties, very deep international ties. And it's to it's to the Humboldt Institute first conversation. Yeah. It's not required for placement, but if that's going to be your primary market, we want to make sure that the students have success, whether that we have existing rules to support them or not.
Now, one thing that we've already discussed with Manuel is the fact that because he's going to go for accreditation when the time comes, he's going to have to track placement regardless.
That's true.
So
that's true.
That's going to take place irrespective of any rule.
And it will only help you with
Correct.
Accreditation for your Florida students as well.
Correct.
I'm sorry, I stopped. Somebody else had some. Sharon, was that you? Commissioner Taylor Ellis? No. Anyone else?
I think your English was outstanding. You
Yeah,
underestimated
you did a great
yourself.
job.
Very,
You're
very
going to
good.
put her out of work.
So I don't speak English very well, but I so.
You sounded
for
great.
For you security, I think, hey, come with me.
Yeah, your confidence will keep growing in that way. You're doing great. I'm sure your kids give you a harder time than anyone else. Thank you very much. Is there any public comment on this matter? Hearing none, is there any further discussion from the commissioners? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve, to accept the staff's recommendations?
So moved.
Second?
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes and the provisional license is granted.
Great, thank you for everything.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Good luck. We'll be watching.
Thank you to Mr. Sori for working with us and the commission staff. We appreciate it as always. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Section C on the agenda is applications for annual license. There are 10 items in this section. I don't see 10, I see 6. There are 6 items in this section. Is there a motion to consider these applications by consent?
So moved.
Second?
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion to take this section by consent passes. I will now ask each commissioner whether there are any items they would like to pull. Commissioner Cross?
I have a clarification question for number 3, but it might be to the director, and maybe not to the school. But number 3.
So does that mean we need to pull it?
I'm sorry, that's who I'd like to pull, yes.
Okay, yes, number 3, okay. Thank you. Commissioner Marty? Okay. I'm sorry. Commissioner Marty, did you respond? I'm asking if you have any that you'd like to pull from this. Do you have any schools that you would like to pull from the 6 that we're considering? No, okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just trying to get it on record there. I've got Eric helping me. Commissioner Stefano?
None additional, but I'm assuming that 3 and 4 are connected, so I would presume that
Okay,
calling 3, we should call 4.
okay, thank you. Commissioner Taylor Ellis?
No others.
Thank you. Commissioner Whitaker?
Number 1, please.
Okay. Commissioner Williams?
Number 2.
Okay. Director Hurst? Does the staff wish to recommend pulling any items?
No additional.
And I do not have any either, any additional. So I will take a motion to accept staff's recommendations on. Oh, jeez. Are there any representatives from the schools or any members of the public who would like to comment on any schools not polled, which are 5 and 6? Schools 5 and 6. Hearing none, then is there a motion to accept staff's recommendations on items 1, 2, 3, and 4? No, 5 and 6. Oh, my Lord. Let me back up. Is there a motion to accept staff's recommendations on items 5 and 6?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes to accept staff's recommendations on items on schools 5 and 6. Next, we will take the school number 1, Birchwood University, Orlando, 11386. We have staff's recommendations before us. If you are here from that school, please come on down.
Good morning, I'm Dr. Jose Otero, Otero Consulting Group.
Dr. Taloki Depu, Vice President for Academics.
Good morning, everyone. Sunil Sinanan, Birchwood University, Orlando, Admissions Department.
Very good, thank you. Commissioner Williams, do you want to get us started?
I went number 2.
You had number 2. Who had number 1?
As number
I'm sorry. Thank you.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted you to give us a update on your financials. I know you had a negative working capital, but now are positive, and just let us know how things are going. And
Things are going really, really well. I had the good fortune of doing an orientation last week with our second cohort of students, and I'm really encouraged by the number of students. I think that will, in terms of immediate impact on our financials, that we'll see that very shortly. So,
well, congratulations on the improvement.
thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations for Birchwood University Orlando 11386.
So moved.
Second?
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes to accept staff's recommendations for those institutions, although, was I supposed to ask for public comment? Is there anyone is there any public comment on this matter? Sorry. Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next school is Brilliant Academy Health Center, Orlando, number 4923. You have staff's recommendations before you. If you're here, please come on and introduce yourself.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Dr. Maggie Jean Gillis.
Good morning. Doctor, the reason I asked to pull and have a quick discussion was I'm a little confused by the statement of cash flows on here, and I'm confident there's a easy explanation for a large number due from a related member, which I don't know if that was phrased that way purposefully. Does that mean that a related member is owed those dollars by the entity, or were those dollars contributed because it's shown as a negative on your statement of cash flow? So it makes a significant impact on your financial performance, and I just wanted to understand what that line item is. It says due from related member.
I don't get it.
Sorry to put you on the spot, but it's a big number, so I'm just trying to understand where it came from and what it is.
On the financial, it's showing that you have a loan from a related member, and that's a significant amount of money that's come on your financials.
A loan?
If you don't know about it, we can address it as a contingency maybe or something.
We don't know about it. We don't have any loan. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Counselor, does the question make sense?
Yeah, the question makes sense. I don't think that she's, I think it's kind of put her on the spot. I mean, we can certainly, and it's something that we can write an explanation for. We can certainly make it a contingency.
Yeah. So the reason I'm asking is with, it makes a significant swing in your cash flow, right? So I'm just trying to figure out where that is, where it's coming from, or going to, because how it's worded, it sounds like it's owed to someone, right? Or was paid out. So maybe we just add this as a clarification on a contingency.
Add a contingency to explain. Tell me what the to explain is.
I hate to get so incredibly granular, but there's a line item on the statement of cash flow called due from related member. And that, coupled with a capital contribution of their members' equity, represents almost $1.5 million.
So we'll ask for a contingency to to explain the statement of cash flow.
The statement of cash flow and yes, and changes in members' equity. Those two are.
And changes in member.
Those two aren't making clear sense to me. And look, I get how complicated it can be when you're pulling money from different places and you're bringing it into one place. I'm just trying to understand, because without those numbers, it makes a huge swing in your financial performance, and we just want to make sure you're solvent. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry to put you on the spot. Neither of us are CPA, so I get it.
Is there any other discussion? Oh, do you want to add something here?
No.
Okay. Is there any other discussion from the commissioners? Is there any public comment on this matter? Hearing none. I'm sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
Sure. Just so we're clear on, for the record, on what motion will be before the commission, is the contingency to offer a clarification on the financials, as explained by Commissioner Williams, and to delegate authority to the executive director to assess compliance after reviewing that clarification with Standard 6, namely the demonstration of financial soundness.
Okay, that is the motion we have before us.
Agreed.
So you make a motion?
Yeah.
And we have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
The next school, two schools are Fortis College Orange Park, number 2090, and Fortis Institute Pensacola, number 1956. Oh, you have staff recommendations before you. If you are here from the school, please introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning. Wyman Dickey. I'm the campus president with Fortis College in Orange Park.
Good morning. Kathleen Cole. I'm the campus president at Fortis Institute, Pensacola, Florida.
Good morning, all. Nikki Good. I'm the regional vice president for Fortis.
Good morning. I'm Steve Budash. I'm the CFO of Education Affiliates, which is the parent of Fortis Pensacola and Orange Park.
Very good. Thank you for being here. Commissioner Cross?
Yeah, and this might be an internal question. So I noticed the retention rates did not meet the accreditors' standards. Now, that was ending June 2022, but I didn't see it as a contingency for a progress report to be submitted, or maybe it was met in 2023. So I don't know if that was something that staff have an update on. And that's both locations.
So on these, we defer to the accreditor to provide the report that you provide to your accreditor related to those rates. So we can add a contingency if you would like to do so, that we can ask for them to provide us the report that they're providing their accreditor, or if no report is required by your accreditor, that you provide us proof of that as well.
I mean, we're talking about updated ones, Director? Because the 2022s are in here.
Yes.
Okay. But that was it. Just wanted to get an update on the retention for both locations. Do you have any updates for us regarding retention?
For Orange Park, I know our most recent that we filled out for the prior year, we didn't have any programs on reporting, so we can certainly get that updated information to you. And we're just preparing to submit this year's to ACCSC, where they track graduation rates versus retention rates, but absolutely we'll share that.
Thank you. Nice job on your pass rates, by the way, ASN and PN, so really, really nice. Looks like there's some nice stability there and success.
Thank you.
Can I ask pardon me, can I ask how the year is going? We're looking at year end 22, so we're trailing 9 months, right?
Speaking for Orange Park, we're actually ahead of plan. Our fiscal year runs from July 1st to June 30th.
Okay.
So we've been doing well on that. We've seen an uptick in our recent retention rates as well as starts. So it's one of those, our population is creeping back up. I know, I hear you ask about that break-even point, which actually we expect to hit in October. So we have a lot of great things happening at the Orange Park campus and coinciding with some strong outcomes, especially for our NCLEX rates at the campus.
But you can tell your accountant that I almost fell out of my chair until I realized that your stockholders' equity isn't represented in thousands. So I looked at it and thought, oh my God. And then I went back to look at the subscript. So thanks for the wake-up call there on that one. So the same with the passage rate. You guys have really prepared your financials well, and this is really clear and everything matches up the way I'd love to see it. So thank you for that.
So great teams at the campuses and at the home office.
Thank you. Is there any public comment on this matter?
Before we proceed to a vote, maybe Executive Director Hurst could clarify what are the added contingencies for each institution that the Commission will be voting on?
Give me 1 second, I'll give you the language.
Certainly.
Making sure our language is consistent with all the rest. Okay, so the language would be a submission of any correspondence, including letters, motions, records of action taken, and other similar documents provided by the accrediting agency to the institution concerning the retention rates and the institution's response.
Actually, so that's the motion we have before us, the staff's recommendations plus the added contingency as read into record.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 I'm sorry, just to clarify which institution we're voting on. Is it
Oh, this is-
2090
Yes.
Florida College, Orange Park?
We can't take them together, yes.
It's for both, right?
Well, we have to do them separately?
I believe that we should take them individually.
Okay, so this is for Fortis College, Orange Park, number 2090.
So moved.
We have a first and a second? Oh, sorry. Jeff is the first. Do we have a second, commissioners?
Second. Second.
Commissioner Whitaker. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes for Fortis College, Orange Park. And now we have a motion to accept staff's recommendation plus the added contingency as read into record for Fortis College. We are taking the vote for Fortis Institute, Pensacola, number 1956. Do we have a motion?
For the record, I can read it into this one
You
as
want
well.
to?
Yes.
Go for it.
So the contingency will be a submission of any correspondence, including letters, motions, records of action taken, and other similar documents provided by the accrediting agency to the institution concerning the retention rates and the institution's response.
Very good. We have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
And we have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you both. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time and attention. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. The next section is applications for extension of annual license. We have one, the Institute of Albizu University, Miami, number 2560. I skipped something? 5 and 6 were approved.
Oh, you're right, you're right. I'm sorry.
It's okay. The Institute for Albizu University, Miami, number 2560. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you're here from that school, if you'd like to address the group. I don't know. What's happening?
Good morning. My name is Tatiana Tuchinsky. I'm a president of EDU Compliance, representing Albizu.
Good morning. My name is Luis Barreto. I'm the Director of Finance for the Miami campus.
Excellent. Thank you for being here. Commissioners, is there any discussion on this item? I think we're pretty straightforward here. Is there any public comment on this matter? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations to approve the extension for annual license for Albizu University, Miami, number 2560.
So moved.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you. That was
Thank
pretty
you.
easy.
Thank you.
The next section is Section E, application for annual renewal of license. We have 12 items in this section. There are 4 write-in additions to this section, item 13 through 16. These materials can be found in the addendum to the agenda. Is there a motion to take these applications by consent?
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion to take this section by consent passes. I will now ask each commissioner whether there are any items they would like to pull. Commissioner Cross?
No, but I need to take a 5-minute break.
Okay. Commissioner, I lost my order. Marty?
Not at this point.
None. Commissioner Stefano? Commissioner Taylor Ellis?
None.
Commissioner Whitaker?
Come back to me 1 second.
Sure.
Sorry.
Sure, sure. Commissioner Williams?
Perhaps.
Okay, I'll give you we can take a deep breath here.
Number 6.
Okay. We have number 6 for Commissioner Williams.
Okay, sorry, and then number 1.
Okay, and number 1 for Commissioner Whitaker. Do you still need more time, Commissioner Whitaker?
Refer to staff if there are any others.
Oh, I'm sorry, I will. We do ask staff if there's any others that they would like to.
There are no additional.
And I have none. So with that, we'll take is there any public comment on these matters of schools that were not pulled? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept schools 2 through 5, 7 through 16.
So move.
Second.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes to accept staff's recommendations on those schools. We will now take the matter of Atlantic Institute of Oriental Medicine, Inc., Fort Lauderdale, number 2641, that's school number 1. If you are here from that school, please join us. You have staff's recommendations before you, if we want to have any discussion. Doesn't appear that there's anyone from the school. It doesn't appear that there's anyone from the school.
So I was just going to ask them about their negative net income and where they are on their financial progress. I know they have a report due as a contingency, so that will be adequate.
That will suffice for your interests? Any other discussion? So we'll take a motion. Is there any public comment on this matter? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations for Atlantic Institute of Oriental Medicine, Inc., Fort Lauderdale, number 2641.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. The next school to discuss is Global Institute of Sports America, LLC, Fort Lauderdale, number 9062. You have staff's recommendations before you. If you are here from that school, please join us. Oh, good. Welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Catherine Garrido. I'm the Regional Director for the Global Institute of Sport.
Very good. Commissioner Williams?
I did. Hi again. It's great to see you.
Hey, good to see you.
We had a great conversation the last time you were here. I'm just curious about the appetite for how long it's going to take you guys to scale to reach a point of cash flow positivity. I understand that you have a much larger backing and group behind you, but everybody has an appetite for loss, and I want to make sure that y'all's is consistent with your overall plan and doesn't undermine success.
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you so much. We've seen, so our students, last year, we're looking like we're close to doubling that intake for this week. This is Welcome Week. Our students are enrolling as we speak.
Awesome.
So that's really fortunate.
Do you know how many of those are?
I'm sorry?
Are you hitting your numbers? Do you know how many there are that are enrolling?
So, so we had 20 students last year. We've just, as of this morning, 31 of about close to 40 have enrolled fully for next year.
for you.
And so they're starting their program next Monday, and this week is Welcome Week. So they're all just finishing that enrollment process. So that's really good news. Obviously, we're fortunate where we are with regards to the sports industry to have had a bit of a upturn with regards to sports and attracting students. So we've got a lot more sort of in our pipeline now for next year. That has been helped by certain people joining places like Inter Miami, the World Cup, things like 100 new jobs in for FIFA that they're bringing from Switzerland and Zurich. So the future is very bright, shall we say.
The Messi effect, right?
Yeah. If anybody didn't hear that Messi had arrived in Florida, yes.
Right, yeah. I don't know.
Where have you been?
You must live under a rock if you didn't hear about
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. So, yeah, things are very different at the stadium. It's very exciting to be there and to be around the facility.
Yes. Well, I know that these are trailing for year-end last year, so, and I understand the massive plan and support you have behind you. There was a considerable injection of capital, and even with that, not insignificant loss despite that, right? So I just wanted to make sure that you guys are feeling optimistic and confident and that your year-to-date numbers were where you wanted them to be.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the numbers even a year on, we're in a different place. So obviously we've already reached a nice level of sort of financial support, both from our student numbers.
Yeah, well, I'm unaware if anyone else is attempting to capture this white space that you guys are going after. So the market is yours to lose, right? Congratulations on that. And thank you for coming up and explaining. I'm glad to hear your 50%. I mean, it may be only 31, but that's a 50% increase, right, from the year before. So I'll take that.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you currently have, you currently have 31 students in the program?
No, we had 20 students start last year through 2022, and now we're just enrolling our cohort for 23-24 period, and 31 have enrolled as of this morning.
How many? I'm sorry, 31.
So we had 20 students last year who started our programs in January and September, and then we've got about 31 who've enrolled as of this morning.
So 31 more than the 20?
Yes.
So 51. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there any public comment on this matter? Hearing none, is there any further commission discussion? I'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is accepted to accept staff's recommendation.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I would like to offer a short break, recess.
A quick question. I'm sorry.
Yes.
When we voted prior to polling these, I wasn't sure if you said up to number 16 or 17, but there are 17 on here, and I want to make sure that...
Oh, I said 16. I know, the words I said were 16.
So page 11, there's number 17. So I just, as a point of process, I want to make sure that we don't accidentally skip that.
Okay.
Of the addendum.
So do we have a motion to accept number 17 by consent? I guess that's what I'm asking. To accept staff's recommendations on number 17. I don't see where.
So moved.
I don't know where it is. You'd have to tell me where it is. I don't know. I don't know.
It's right here. In the addendum.
Which one is it?
Mendez.
And that's Universidad Ana G. Mendez, Garabo Campus, Orlando, number 2928. Is there anyone from the public, or is there anyone here from the institution too? Mr. Harris, you're here for...
Yep, I was going to ask, thank you, Amish. I was going to ask the very same question, because number 17 is my client, University Ana G. Mendez, so I was going to ask that first. The second thing I was going to ask is, you approved a number for City College without having them pulled just now, and they are also in substantive change. It's the same issues, but they're later on the agenda.
Right.
They have about 8 people here who have left the campuses, want to go back and run the campuses. So we're just wondering if there's any way you can go to that substantive change part of the agenda so that these people can go back to work.
I guess that, since they're not being,
It's
I mean,
the
that's,
s-
it's a different section of the agenda completely, so.
But it's the
Right, I knew
same
that
issues.
they were in
and-
both sections,
Yeah, same issues in both sections. They're just.
which is under
there.
K, section K. What's that?
Item K, number.
Yeah,
number
yeah,
three.
I see that.
Yeah.
I just want to, I mean, that's others that have to, well, I guess I mean, is that fair to the other schools that are here too, that are waiting to get to section K?
Madam Chair, if you're uncomfortable, I'll
Oh,
withdraw
I'm
the
just
request.
trying, I
That's all.
just want to be fair to everyone,
understand.
honestly. And that's all I'm saying, is that if that's a different section, then we're just pulling everything out of that section. There's other schools in that section K as well. Are we just going to skip over section F, H? You know, I mean,
I understand.
sorry, unless we don't want to take a break and just power through. I'll take the will of the group. What's that? As well. Okay, so we'll deal with, we'll restate item 17. Is there a motion to, now I need to see that again. That's cool. So I can restate it, because we got all, I'm just flipping pages. It's very. Is there a motion to accept staff's recommendations on the Universidad Ana Mendez Garabo Campus, Orlando, number 2928?
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. And we'll take can we do a 7 to 10 minute recess? 10 minutes? Okay, great. We'll see you back here at 11:08.
Is it down there?
Check, check, check.
Thank you and welcome back. The Section F on the application, Section F on the application for license by means of accreditation. There are 4 items in this section. These items will be taken individually. The first institution is CompuMed Vocational Careers Corporation, Hialeah, number 1235. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, please come to the podium and introduce yourself. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Joanna Lane. I'm the Director of Compliance.
Good afternoon. My name is George Segato. I'm the Director of Nursing.
And Mark Murray, Legal Counsel for CompuMed.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. Commissioners, is there any discussion? No? Is there any comment from the public? Is there any public comment on this item? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations to approve the application.
So moved.
Second. We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know what that noise is either. The second school is Strayer University in Tampa, number 3207, letters A through D. Welcome. She saved me from parking illegally this morning, so thank you for being here.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lisa Sincere, Associate General Counsel, State Regulatory Compliance for Strayer.
We have staff recommendations before us. Is there any discussion on Strayer University and its campuses? Is there any public comment on the matter? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept the staff's recommendations for Strayer University Tampa, number 3207, Strayer University Jacksonville, number 3769, Strayer University Miramar, number 3877, and Strayer University Tallahassee, number 7536. And Strayer University Orlando, number 7901.
So moved.
So moved.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. The next school is URBE, Irby University, Sweetwater, number 5594. We have staff's recommendations before us. If you're here from that university, please introduce yourself.
Good morning again, Dr. Eric Roberts, Campus Director.
And how do you say the name of the school?
Urbe University.
Urbe, okay.
Urbe,
Not
yes.
URBE, okay.
Is it an acronym, I'm assuming?
Yes, for the owner, University Rafael Bejoso. Yes.
Commissioners, any discussion? Is there any public comment on the matter? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to approve the staff's recommendation for Orbe University Sweetwater, number 5594.
Thank you.
So moved.
We have a first and a second. We have Commissioner Cross and Commissioner Stefano. And do we have all those in favor? Aye. Excuse me.
Thank you again.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you. Our next school is Wayman Aviation Academy, Pembroke Pines, number 11360. You have staff's recommendations. If there's anyone here from the school, please introduce yourself.
Greetings, Commissioner. My name is Jose Obregon. I am the Manager of Academic Programs and Development for Wayman Aviation Academy.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Good morning. Carlos Gamundi, Director of Education, Wayman Aviation Academy.
Nice to see you. Commissioners, any discussion? Sounds like a single jet,
Gentlemen, last time you guys were here, you gave a great synopsis of what you were doing and the innovation around it. As you know, our information always trails to last year, obviously, for close of the year. How's the year going this year? You can just give me your kind of year to date.
Sure.
We have started the college degree program for the aeronautical science, started it in January. As of this month, we have a total of 13 active students in the college program. However, you got to remember that we have a vocational side, which we enroll students every month, and we're using that as a non-standard term for the college program. In the September cohort, we had 31 for the different programs, so it's going very well.
What's the I'm sorry.
Go ahead, please.
I just want to know what the vocational program is again.
I was going to ask the same thing.
FAA pilot programs. So the pilot program is a 12-month program, which is part of the college program. So the flight portion of the training is applicable to both the vocational and the college.
Gotcha. Is there any further discussion? Is there any public comment on the matter? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations for Wayman Aviation Academy, Pembroke Pines, number 11360.
Moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Thank you very much.
The next section is annual review of license by means of accreditation. There are 16 schools in this section. I'm going to make sure that's correct. I will take a motion to take this section by consent.
So move.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion to take this section by consent passes. I will now take I will now ask each each commissioner. I'm getting there. I'm trying to do it from memory. It's not good. Stand by. Now, I will now ask each commissioner if they have any items that they would like to pull. Commissioner Cross?
Give me a moment, please.
Sure.
I have none.
Commissioner Marty? I'm sorry. Commissioner Stefano?
Number 11.
Number 11. Commissioner Marty, I just wanted to go on record that did you have any to pull?
No, I was looking at number 11.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump ahead. I couldn't tell if you
was just-
responded. I know. It's flipping papers. Number 11, Commissioner Taylor Ellis.
No others.
Commissioner Whitaker.
No others.
Commissioner Williams.
No others.
And I do not have any others either. Director Hurst, does the staff wish to pull any?
No others.
Okay. Is there any public comment on any of the schools not pulled? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations on items 1 through 10, 12 through 16.
So move.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. We will now review school number 11. Let's see what that school, the New Professions Technical Institute, Inc., Miami, number 1556. If you're here from that school, please come to the podium.
Yes, I am.
All right.
This time I'm going to change it up again. Salutations and greetings. I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay. So tell us about your placement improvement plan for your accreditors. How's that going? What's happening with your placement?
We just recently received our report from our accrediting agency, where it does make note about the nursing program, medical assistant, and English as a second language, as well as English for speakers of other languages, which is the I-20 program. As far as the nursing program, we've adopted various improvement plans that are going to affect as of right now. Remember, it's a 17-month program, so what we're putting into effect now, we probably won't see the results for 17 or at least 15 months away from now. But we have made some quality changes. We have made some improvements in the level of education that we're providing the students at no cost to the students. okay? With a 95% of our student body Hispanic, main problem we saw was the English as the language of choice for the NCLEX training. We did receive some students from outside schools that were closed, and so we're trying to adapt them into that phase. We're going through English training. We're going to NCLEX review, additional NCLEX review after the first time they go through it. We're trying to enforce them to go and take their NCLEX test within a reasonable period of time, no more than 30 days. But understand, this is a process that we get them to sign up, we get them going, and then they have to commit to that testing. And if they feel that their English is still not up to standards, they sometimes will keep on delay the process.
So what are, oh.
Go ahead, no, go ahead.
So what are some of the strategies that you're using to try to get the, or you said we're doing English training, and who are you doing that for? The students, or is that also your faculty and staff? Like what's the goal there?
All our faculties are bilingual.
Okay.
And we know, based on the amount of students that we get that are Hispanic driven, that there's a lot of translation that needs to be done, and we're doing it as it appears based on the course, based on the subject matter. But unfortunately, when they get to the test, or that last course, which is the NCLEX review, it's there when they realize that they may not have sufficient English proficiency to take a test of that nature.
So are you doing any pre-screening of the students that are coming in to get their English proficiency up so that they can have success not only in the program but to complete? And then that's one part of the question. The second part is what types of incentives are you creating for the students to take the NCLEX faster?
Well, we are now instituting a entrance exam, which we didn't have in the past. Okay? We're going through ATI's entrance exam for them to get, which we know that will reduce our enrollment as much as 40%. And so that's one way. The other area is that not only at the end when we're prior to the last two courses, which is the leadership and the NCLEX review, we're going and concentrating more on English. We're doing not only the 120 hours that they require, but also going on weekends to bring them into the school environment and start training them more on nursing situational concepts. That was a suggestion provided by ATI to enhance their ability to understand the English better for their testing. Okay, so that's one of the two things that we're doing. Our Director of Operations, in conjunction with the ASIN representative, is also assisting us in providing more hands-on training, literature training, and lecturing so that they are better prepared in that environment. Now,
so can I ask, so are you also, when you say they are better prepared, you're talking about your students?
Right.
So is there a plan also for your faculty to do professional development with your faculty to ensure that students have the best, latest, most relevant instruction for both their English challenges or deficiencies that they may have and their content in nursing?
Well, based on the requirements that you set forth, that all faculty members must have a minimum of 8 hours of professional development, we are putting their feet to the fire to ensure that they do take those trainings, they do get that certification. Most of our instructors are doctors from other countries, and when you do a Joseph Sealing translation, they are provided with a bachelor's degree in medicine. So as they are converted to the nursing program, that's what's helping us out. Again, they too may have a problem with English. Okay, so we keep constant vigilance on that type of training and execution on both the instructor side as well as the student side to improve our NCLEX rate. Now, last year when we started, we had a 34% rate. Now we're at 54%. Okay? It's not great. 77, 78 is what's required by the state of Florida, but we are seeing an improvement. Okay? So as we continue on looking at these challenges, more and more ideas will come forth as far as ways to improve it by both the cooperation of ACEN and ATI to assist us in getting us to the goals that we're required, set off not only by you, but by the NCLEX Review Board itself.
Director Hurst, can you go review those PN scores for us real quickly?
I have a question.
Oh.
The retention, I mean, your retention is okay in certain extent, but I'm trying to figure out why the placement rate in these positions that are needed, there are a lot of positions available in the health field, but yet you're reporting like 40%, 38.89%. What are you guys doing to improve placement of your students?
Well, in the nursing program, if you don't pass the NCLEX, you're not going to get placed. And that's
Even
our
the office-
situation right now. We do not have sufficient people that take the test. Then are those that take the test, those that pass the test. So it's because of that, our placement rate is that low. Okay, we may graduate 16 or 17 students per cohort, but if only 8 take the test, and of those 8, only 4 pass the test, that's 50% of those that pass. But that's not 50% of placement.
So when you're talking to your students when they're coming to you, I mean, because the travesty of it is that a student comes with the expectation that they're going to become a nurse, to actually practice nursing. And if they're going through the program, even if they get through the content, but they have fear or don't feel prepared to take the NCLEX, then they're never getting to the goal, which is to become a nurse. So what is the upfront communication and strategy that you have in talking to your students about the expectations to be a nurse? You're going to have the English proficiency to pass the NCLEX test at the end of your academic journey so that you can actually become a licensed nurse. So that you're setting up you're managing the students' expectations from the very beginning. What does that look like at your school?
Well, now that we've implemented the entrance exam from ATI, before we didn't have an entrance exam, we had an internal English proficiency test that we give to the same ESL students on levels of English, okay, for gainful employment. Now we're expecting the students to take an ATI entrance exam, which now we know, based on the amount of students that not only we get, but the surrounding area students that's available to us, okay, we know that the percentage of entrance, instead of 60 per class start, we're probably looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of 20, 25 per class start, based on the entrance exam itself. Okay, so if only 25 is going to come in passing an entrance exam by ATI, then we can almost assure ourselves that maybe 80% will pass the NCLEX after 17 months. But that's now, because we implemented that as of late. So at the beginning, these cohorts that we have right now, we're encouraging them to take the English classes, to go on the weekends, to come in class, and start doing that.
So the cohort that's starting with the ATI entrance exam when is that being effective? When is that starting?
Well, we had our first start back in August.
Okay.
So 17 months from August, we're expecting, again, we had a 60 start. Now we're dropping them down to 25 or 30.
I'd like if we could have the Director Hurst share some of the outcomes with us.
Sure. So this is for the Nursing Associates in Science. So per the Florida Board of Nursing, in 2022, the national average was 77.91%. The institution pass rate was 42.86% with 14 testers. In 2023 quarter one, national average is 79.14%. The institutional pass rate is 7.69% with 13 testers. In 2023 quarter two, the national average is 93.94%. The institution's pass rate is 47.83% with 23 testers.
So as you can see, we are showing improvement, not to the level of the graduates we get in here, but as more and more come into the field, and more that we see that their students are lacking the one goal. It's not that they don't lack the knowledge of medicine, because not only do we getting instructors from other countries, we're getting nurses from other countries that are coming here to take our nursing program. Again, come from Mexico, Chile, Argentina, Venezuela. Everything is in Spanish. Now the conversion to English is their main concern now. And we've noticed that, and we're taking steps to assist them in going past that.
Any other discussion on the improvement plans and the accreditation standing?
I just had, your medical office specialist diploma, you also have a 40% placement. Is that also the lack of English that is preventing them from getting those jobs?
The problem with that is that most of those medical assistant, medical office students, once they graduated from those diploma issuing programs, went straight into the nursing program with no placement chances. Again, we're going to see a lot of this transition from a diploma issuing program to the nursing program because of that.
Is transfer considered a placement?
Oh, it's not.
Are you speaking to your accreditor's requirement?
Yes, well, I have until, like I said, just before I came up here, I received the assets findings for the accreditation. And I presented you a copy. I presented our program specialist a copy, okay, that showed the deficiencies that they noticed, okay. I have until October 31 to turn in our response to that. And that's, again, part of all this. Matter of fact, you're the first ones that are being told about what our responses are going to be, okay? So, yes, and they are aware of it, too, because down here in South Florida, particularly, where a large pool of applicants are from Hispanic background, English has always been a prime driven concern. And even though we teach the course in English, and even though our instructors may be bilingual, it's still translation this, translation that, and an ongoing procedure for that.
Have you considered a partnership with anyone that's doing NCLEX prep, like a formal prep for your testers, and perhaps that can be in a bilingual format? Have you considered, is there an NCLEX prep as a part of your plan?
We're trying to avoid the term bilingual because that's the problem.
Okay, so is there an NCLEX
prep? If we keep on doing it in Spanish, they won't.
No, I agree.
Okay, so yes, we have offered a couple of agencies to come in and assist to doing individual training with students, with graduates, okay? But now that's at the student's cost, where we're providing it free of charge at our expense when they will get the pool of graduates or those going to be graduates for that training, yes.
Okay. Executive Director, is there anything that you'd like to add for the recommendations here?
Yes, so based on our discussion here today, staff would like to add an additional contingency for your consideration. The contingency would be a progress report shall be filed with the Commission for the January 2024 and May 2024 Commission meetings. The report shall include an update on the outcome of implementing the strategies to increase the NCLEX RN pass rates contained in the remediation plan.
Very well. Is there any further board discussion?
I just want to add, I think adding the entrance exam is a great step, and that'll help. But I'd encourage you to look at the curriculum to make sure it's tied appropriately to NCLEX, because your students are completing the program, getting to the finish line, but they're not prepared, and a large portion of them are not prepared. So I would really encourage looking at the curriculum and making sure it's tied to what NCLEX is testing for. And the faculty, make sure they're aware, because you probably should have more students failing before the finish line, slightly more, so that, because it looks like they're all passing successfully, but they're not passing the NCLEX. So I would just encourage you to look at the curriculum.
Well, to your point, it's a 17-month program, and we've extended an additional 10 weeks for those that are unable to pass the NCLEX within the normal 17-month time. We've taken upon ourselves to give them that additional 10-week review of the NCLEX at our expense with instructors for that same purpose, with a focus on English.
But if your instructors, I think to Commissioner Cross's point, if your instructors have never had to take the NCLEX because they haven't been necessarily nurse trained in the U.S., they may not realize the alignment of their curriculum and the content that they're assessing to the actual test that the students need to become a licensed nurse in the U.S. And that's correct? That's what I think you're talking about?
My recommendation is just more in general, make sure the curriculum is tied and make sure the faculty have an understanding of how it's tied and where to stress those certain points that we know will be tested on the NCLEX.
Right. That's actually probably as impactful as your
It is.
entrance exam.
And we have both ATI as well as ACEN instructors, counselors, assisting our faculty in getting into that level of proficiency.
Other discussion? Is there any public comment on this matter? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations with the added contingency as read by Director Hurst for, I'll take a motion to accept staff recommendations and the contingency.
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion passes. Thank you.
I will look forward to seeing you via Zoom in October.
Likewise.
November.
Oh, yeah, November. Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
1 month. I don't even get a chance to even say that. Thank you again.
Thank you. Okay. Too much scrolling to go. Okay, so that brings us to section H. Applications for program approvals, modifications. We have 2 in this area. I would like to take a motion to accept those by consent. Move those by consent.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion to take this section by consent passes. And I will now ask each commissioner whether there are any items they would like to pull. Commissioner Cross?
None.
Commissioner Marty? No. No? Commissioner Stefano?
None.
Commissioner Taylor Ellis?
No.
Commissioner Whitaker?
No.
Commissioner Williams?
No.
I do not either. Director Hurst?
No.
Therefore, are there any representatives or members of the public that have any public comment on these matters? Is there a motion then to accept staff's recommendation on items 1 and 2?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes for schools 1 and 2. Thank you very much. The next section is motion for extension of license. We have no schools in that section. The next after that is J, motion for request of extension of time to comply with contingencies. We have no schools in that section. Moving us to substantive change approval. We have 7 schools. We will take these individually. The first school is Aspen University, Tampa, number 7687. You have staff's recommendations before you. If there's anyone here from that school that would like to come to the podium and introduce themselves, please join us. That is Aspen University. Is there any discussion? Commissioners? Director Hurst?
The staff would like the commissioners to consider an additional contingency. The contingency would be to order a progress report shall be filed with the Commission for the January 2024 and May 2024 Commission meetings. The report shall include updated financial statements to show the effectiveness of the plan per Rule 6E-2.004, Section 6 Florida Administrative Code, and an update on the teach-out of the students.
Very good. Is there any other discussion, commissioners? Is there any public comment on this matter? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations plus the additional contingency as read by Executive Director Hurst.
So move.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. The next school is ATA Career Education Spring Hill, number 3957. You have staff's recommendations. If you are here from that school and would like to introduce yourself, please, welcome.
Good morning. Molly Ludwig, Vice President of Corporate Compliance for Brent L. Mills, Inc.
Kyle Weber, Director of Accreditation Compliance for ATA.
Very good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Executive Director Hurst, you want to share any background on this for us?
Yes, so I know that you have had a couple of ownership changes with these schools. Can you kind of explain the process by which what you have done in the past, what your goals are for the future, and where you are in the process?
Yes, of course. First of all, I want to just thank the Commission and Ms. Hurst for taking the time to help us through this process. As you are aware of the timeline that I provided with your packet on our schools, Brent Mills Inc. acquired, and I don't know, I'm sorry, do you want me to include the Southern Technical in this as well?
No, they're going to be
Sorry.
separate.
So we're going to move forward. So, sorry. ATA College, ATA Career Education, we have submitted an application for a change in ownership for Brent Mills Inc. to acquire ATA Career Education in colleges, and we have several. We have 4 total, 1 in Florida, 3 in other states. We have submitted the application with you. We've also submitted the application with ABHES, who is the school's accreditor. ABHES met on September 18th, but we have not received notification of the decision as they are waiting for an update from us on this meeting. So we're just kind of waiting. So that's where we are as far as the ATA Career Education. We are scheduled to close on September 30th if everything works out.
The chicken and the egg.
Always.
Always. Any discussion, commissioners? Anyone from the public have any comment on this matter? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations. That's it. We'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Thank you.
The next school is City College, Altamont Springs 2615. We have staff's recommendations before us. If there's anyone from the school that would like to come to the podium and introduce yourselves. Thank you. Hello.
I believe it's still morning. Good morning, Commissioners. Richard Senzak, Campus Director for City College, Altamont Springs.
Jennifer Newham, VP of Compliance. Sierra Buckow, Chief Operating Officer.
Cheryl Snuck, CFO.
Dr. Becky Lodowick, Chief Academic Officer.
Jerry Rosenberg, President.
Well, welcome to everyone. Commissioners, is there any discussion or comments?
Can you give us an update on your efforts to reach this point and get the annual license granted, and sort of illuminate any continuing hurdles that you feel like you're encountering?
Sure, absolutely. I'd be happy to do so.
So we're here on the under substantive change because we were moved to provisional from annual, and that was for the Board of Nursing placing us on probation for the low NCLEX score.
So just as a clarification from staff, so what this is because she has two parts to hers, actually a couple of different parts, more than two. So she has moved for an annual license. So the staff recommendations are to grant the annual license for procedural purposes only. That would be the first action. And then to find that a sub-change has occurred because of her probation with the Florida Board of Nursing, which will move her back into the provisional status. And the institution will then need to complete the contingency that is on here in order to return to their annual license status.
And you should have in your packet all of the information about the nursing program, the Board of Nursing, the action plan, the updates for NCLEX, and everything we've submitted as requested on our 30-day letter.
And among these staff recommendation contingencies, because I know we trail by 60 some odd days, right, every time. Are there items on this list that you feel you have already submitted, or are these accurate today?
Yes, actually, there's a couple of errors. As you'll see just on the agenda, the EMT program, it's actually submitted for 19 credit hours. The medical assistant program is actually requested for removal, not modification. And then there's some things on the summary sheet that are incorrect.
What? Can you speak to this?
May I make a real quick clarification comment? So on your addendum, there is an updated summary sheet.
Oh.
It's not the addendum, it's the very last one.
So you may be looking at the original. So there's an updated addendum that now has one contingency.
Page 14.
Yes, page 14 of your addendum.
That's what I'm looking for. Gotcha.
And I think the one contingency is at the catalog. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And we resubmitted that on the 13th.
So could you give us the Cliff Notes version of what you're doing to improve NCLEX pass rates? And your
Absolutely.
remediation plan?
Absolutely, and thank you for your question. So a lot of focus has been going in for the Associate Science of Nursing program, specifically for the NCLEX pass rates. One of the best things that we did was replace the Director of Nursing. Since she's come in, the program has changed night and day. One of the major focuses for the NCLEX review is also partnering with, we utilize Kaplan, and partnering with the nursing consultant, bringing her in to train both faculty and staffs about all the different resources, the bells and whistles of the Kaplan resource, in addition to updating them on the upcoming changes to the next generation NCLEX. So the faculty has been trained for that. One of the other things that we've done for the program as well for the NCLEX is, in addition to the Kaplan, all of our graduates, senior leadership has approved for all of our graduates to take an additional review. So we purchased the Hearst review. Since then, we've seen tremendous results. We're happy to see there's been a 25% increase since prior year. So we're currently at 83.33% at the conclusion of Q2.
And that's passing or taking?
Passing.
Okay. And how's your taking rates? You know, that you follow me? Like the students that are graduating and taking?
Yeah, so we look at all prior graduates. So we've done an analysis going back to 2020. All of our graduates have taken the NCLEX and ultimately passed the NCLEX, which was great to see, except for two. One thing that we've also done since we implemented the Hearst review is making sure that we're reaching out to all of our prior graduates who have either not passed or taken. Of those two, one has never taken the NCLEX. She actually finally responded. She will be coming to our Hearst review in February during our next session to support her in her efforts. And then the other was unsuccessful on their first attempt but has been unresponsive. But all students have ultimately passed their NCLEX to date.
Awesome. Thank you. Great.
So are you guys in agreement with the revised staff recommendation that's under our our amendment to this?
Yes, that's the grant, the annual license with the contingency
Yeah,
and the modifications.
Yeah, I think the things that you had listed were corrected on our
Yes,
other version. I'm
except
just
for the
making sure
medical
that you guys
assistant
are.
program. I'm not sure if that's still on there, but that's to be removed.
Yes, grant the termination of the medical assistant diploma program. It is correct on here. Thank you.
Any other discussion, commissioners? Is there any public comment on the matter? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations for City College Altamont Springs number 2615.
So move.
Second.
Hearing a first and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for waiting, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, the next school is Gwinnett Institute Orlando, number 4249. You have staff recommendations before you. If you're here from that institution, please join us. Thank
Hello,
you.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Dwayne Ore. I'm the campus president at Gwinnett Institute.
Thank you. So you have an accreditation change. Do you want to tell us the motivation of that or how it's going?
Well, Gwinnett Institute was formerly accredited by ACICS. I'm sure everyone knows about ACICS at this point. We were able to maintain change our accreditation to ACCSC via a branch campus of the Meridian Colleges in Sarasota.
Executive Director, do you have anything to add?
No additional.
Thank you.
Oh, no additional.
Anything, any other discussion? Go ahead.
You guys are originally based out of Atlanta, Georgia?
So LTT Enterprises is our parent, and they have 3 campuses in the Georgia area. There's also a campus in Raleigh, North Carolina as well.
Okay.
I just want to say great job with your teach out on your ASN program.
Thank
so
you.
I know it's bittersweet. Must be bittersweet because the pass rates are outstanding relative to last year. So nice job putting the care into those teach out plan.
Thank you. We're at 80% for the year, a little too late, but we still have dedication to our current students. We have about 76 students after October 1. We'll be graduating out about 16 students this month, and we're very confident with the direction of giving them support and ensuring that they'll have adequate resources to pass the NCLEX.
That's good. Any other discussion, commissioners? Is there any public comment on the matter? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations for Gwinnett Institute Orlando 4249.
So moved. Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hearing none? Any opposed? Hearing none? The motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone.
Thank you to be here. The next school is International Institute for Healthcare Professionals, Inc., Boca Raton, number 3121. You have staff recommendations before you. If you're here from the school, please join us and introduce yourself.
Good morning. Dr. Emily Razafikili, Executive Director at International Institute for Healthcare Professionals.
Dr. Noede Razafikili, CFO.
And Mark Murray, Legal Counsel for International Institute of Healthcare Professionals.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Commissioner Hertz, can you give us a recap of the pass rates? Do you have that available? I'm sorry. Okay, thank you.
So the International Institute for Healthcare Professionals, for their nursing associates in science, their rates are as follows. In 2020, the national average was 82.80%. The institution pass rate was 71.6% with 162 testers. 2021, the national average is 78.78%. Institution pass rate 65.02%, 203 testers. In 2022, the national average was 77.91%. Institution pass rate was 62.3%. Number of testers was 35. 2023 quarter 1, the national average is 79.14%. The institution's pass rate was 50.55%. The number of testers is 91. And 2023 quarter 2, the national average is 93.94%, and the institution pass rate is 61.1%. The number of testers is 18.
So can you help us understand the variation in testers and then, your kind of slide and then now somewhat improvement in your pass rates?
what happened, we changed, we used to do adaptive quizzing as a final, and then student was very worried about it because they said it's too hard, and then we switched to another one. We was doing 2 final with NLN and ATI, plus review. Then after we realized we go down, we start again with adaptive quizzing. We increase the capstone, we put capstone to 64 hours, and then we give them the final essay every time they finish the subject. Like when they finish fundamental, they take final is a FC, and still to wait the program finish and give them all the final. Then we're doing any specialty final after each class. And then I think for now, we are on the good spot. And then we change also the director of nursing, and we're on the good spot to.
So you feel like you're on the path
yes,
towards
what I
recovery.
did also we did to improve, then we give them ESOL class while they're taking the program after they finish to take English and speech. And then they have a ESOL class all the way the program.
All the way through.
To increase the.
Are you finding that, so are you, in your entrance exam, like what are you doing for entry?
Yeah, we do
Pre-screening
entrance.
of your students to,
Yes, we do entrance tests.
you do entrance testing, and you doing that for the language as well?
We did that for the generic student, for the foreign physician, because we have a lot of foreign physicians. We give them that English class. We give them only English and speech. But what we realized, the teacher we have tell us which one is weak, and then we put them all the way on the ESOL class to improve the English.
Can you tell us how your year is going? And let me explain why I'm asking. Your 2022 net was less than half of your 2021, so a substantial drop. And I'm just wondering if that trend is continuing.
Yes, because the reason is dropped because we changed the final from the exit from adaptive quizzing to the other 2 exit, the ATI and NLN. And when we realize it's dropped, then we start again with adaptive quizzing and change the director and also give them, instead for them to wait at the end of the program to take final of all 6 subjects, we make them take the final after each program. Like we have class who's finished on August 30, and then they already take the final and pass, and we already send them to the board. They don't have to wait like 6 months after they finish to take the exit.
Okay.
They take it right away, then they are so.
So to clarify, that means your trend of profitability is not continuing to drop because of that change?
No.
Right. Yeah, we just don't get to see those numbers, so I'm hoping that that's not the case.
Yes,
and I'm sure you are too. Yeah.
Yes.
Any other discussion, commissioners? Is there any public comment on the matter? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations on International Institute for Healthcare Professionals, Inc., BOGA number 3121.
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion to accept staff's recommendation is adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next school is number 6, Southern Technical College, Fort Myers, number 1829. Oh, we have staff recommendations before us. If you heard from the school. Hi, Molly. Please introduce.
Hi, sorry.
No, you're good. Please introduce yourself.
Molly Ludwig, Vice President of Corporate Compliance for Brent L. Mills, Inc.
Sarah Cruz Mendoza, Compliance Manager for Southern Technical College.
Kyle Weber, Director of Accreditation and Compliance.
Thank you. Director Hurst, would you give us some context?
Yes, once again, we'll ask you to walk us through your process from Southern Technical College becoming ATA College with your name change, to kind of walk us through what your goals were and where you are in the process.
Okay, well, thank you for this opportunity. We, have 2 substantive changes for the commissions. consideration. The name change is a result of the CIE approval that was received in July, and that would be for the change of ownership from Brent L. Mills, Inc. to ATA. So we were required to change ownership in order for the Fort Myers location to be eligible for ABHES accreditation. We have affiliated schools, ATA, that are accredited by ABHES, and because of the nursing pass rate for the Fort Myers campus, ACCSC would not accredit that location. So we have worked with ABHES to submit the non-main campus application as a part of ATA, and again, they met on September 18th, and they are still waiting for answers from CIE. I do want to note that our nursing pass rate is at 85.6 for the year. We have 6 students that have not tested, and we anticipate being off probation with the nursing board for the Fort Myers location in February when they review that. So we've had a very good year. All of our initiatives have been effective, and we look forward to being able to move forward on that. As far as the recent change of ownership, we are trying to align all of the schools under Brent L. Mills, Inc. So I am going to promise you will not see me up here or see my name on anything, hopefully in the near future, in order to, once we get the approval from ABHES, everybody will be under the same, and we will not, hopefully have any substantive changes in regards to ownership or name changes or anything.
Any discussion, commissioners? Any public comment on the matter? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations for Southern Technical College Fort Myers 1829.
So move.
Second. We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Motion to accept staff's recommendation is adopted. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.
And the next school is West Coast University, Doral, number 5014. You have staff's recommendations before you. If you're here from that school and would like to join us. Hello.
Good morning. My name is Audrey Kaplan. I'm the Vice President of Compliance and Risk Management for West Coast University.
Good morning, Sharon Richardson, Campus Executive Director.
Great, thank you for being here. Is there any details that we need to understand here, Executive Director? And is it corrected in the...
So the only item that I would mention in the staff recommendation is it currently says that we are going to grant approval of the substantive change in credentials and issue the provisional license through November 30th of 2024. That needs to be corrected for the record. That is through September 30th of 2024.
Very good. Any other discussion? Is there any public comment on the matter? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendations for West Coast University, Doral, number 5014.
So moved.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion to accept staff's recommendation passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item, the next section is L, branch campus applications. There are none. Then there is section M, name change. We have one, and that is Kepler Space Institute, Brandon, number 6133. We have staff's recommendation before us. If there's anyone here from the institution that would like to come to the podium, please do so. Commissioners, is there any discussion? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't give you enough time. Sorry. Welcome.
Hello, I'm Natesu Shariba. I'm the VP of Administration at Kepler Space Institute, soon to be Kepler Space University, hopefully.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Is there any discussion of the commissioners? Is there any comment from the public on this matter? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept the staff's recommendation for Kepler Space Institute for Brandon 6133.
So move.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the staff's recommendations are approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here, too. The next section is religious colleges, sworn affidavits that are submitted. We have 66 items. I'm going to scroll here. Plus one additional, making it 67. These materials can be found in the addendum to the agenda. Is there a motion to take these items by consent?
So move.
Second. We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes to take this section by consent. I will now ask each commissioner whether there are any items they would like to pull. Commissioner Cross?
Number 3.
Okay. Commissioner Marty?
I'm still looking. I know it's
Okay.
one, but I'm looking.
Sure.
3 for sure.
No, you're good. Commissioner Stefano?
None additional.
Commissioner Taylor Ellis?
No others.
Commissioner Whitaker?
No others.
Commissioner Williams?
No others.
And I do not have any others. Executive Director Hurst, are there any the staff would like to pull?
No others.
Very good. Is there any public comment on schools 1, 2, 4 through 67? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to accept staff's recommendation on items 1, 2, 4 through 67.
So move.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion passes. Now we will look at Amity College of Florida Chaplaincy Institute, Orlando. We have staff's recommendations. If you are here from that school, please join us at the podium. Nope. Executive Director Hurst, can you give us some context?
Yes. So Amity College has both a School of Science, Commerce, and Arts and a School of Management Studies. Within the School of Science, Commerce, and Arts, they have major programs which include a Diploma in Science, Bachelor's of Arts, NS, Bachelor of Commerce, NS, Bachelor of Science, NS, Masters of Arts, NS, Masters of Commerce, NS, Masters of Science, NS, and a Doctor of Philosophy. The School of Management Studies has a Diploma in Management, NS, a Bachelor of Business Administration, NS, a Master of Business Administration, NS, a Doctor of Philosophy, NS, and a Doctor of Literature, NS. The NS in each of these stands for non-secular. The rules require a religious modifier, so we're recommending pulling this from the agenda to have further discussions with the school.
Chair, if
I
I
was
may.
going to ask you what NS stood for.
Yeah, I want to question about this, and I want to defer to Commissioner Stefano here. I guess my question is, or at least as I understand it, if I say that something is not the opposite of religious, am I saying that it's religious? I could say that something is non-secular. Does that automatically mean that it is religious? Because what we're saying is that it is, right?
He should be a philosophy
I think
major.
that there are broader questions around this, but the simple one would be if I say you do not drive a truck, what does that imply?
That you ride a bike?
Right, it doesn't mean you drive a car.
Ride a
right?
car.
Yeah. You may
So
walk.
the point is that the requirement is not to have a non-exclusively secular, expression or articulation of your degree program, but to have an affirmatively kind of religious modifier.
That's a great way to put it. Could you say that again?
So the requirement is to have an affirmative religious modifier.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is my question is, does that count? I don't
Well, I
know
think
how
that's
else
good
to say
direction
it.
for the staff then, to have further conversation.
Yes, so that will be, Eric will contact the school, and he will alert them that their degree programs do not appear to be in compliance with the rule. And then we will go from there.
Yeah, go ahead, please,
That
Councilor.
is to say, if this commission so votes.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, let's say I run a secular truck driving training program. Does that mean I'm not religious? So I think it's worthy of exploration to the counselor's point, and I'm not confident from an outsider's perspective that that meets the requirement. So I don't know how everyone else feels about it, but I think it's worthy of investigation.
Is there any further discussion? We can take a vote on that. Hearing none, is there any public comment on the matter? So we'll accept the recommendation to pool this item for staff's further discussion with Amity College and Florida Chaplaincy Institute, Orlando. That was the recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. So next on the agenda is agent training programs. We have none. And now it appears, is there anything else on that? So we are at the end of day one. We did it. That's it. We'll take a motion to recess until tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Wow.
You didn't wait on a motion.
Good job. Gracefully. Absolutely.